intro, see? What is this? Exploding Heads, episode something?
What is this? He doesn't know if he's on 1Z, ABC's A Hidden Horror. He doesn't know what the fuck show he's on right now. Do I look like Jamie?
He didn't get a shower. Some wrench rushed him.
Yeah, I didn't get a shower. I'm just starting on the coffee. I haven't really had a sip. I'm completely out of it. Matter of fact, well, okay.
It's Exploding Heads, episode 132.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Dave Z. I'm here with my homies Christian and Brandon.
My homies.
Nice.
It's never as good as yours, but I just want Marco to be prepared that that's what it's going to be soon. I'm taking over as head host. Fuck Finland. I love, by the way, I shouldn't say that. I have to correct myself. I love Finland. Just fuck that Finnish fuck is the more proper way of doing it.
Oh.
Hashtag
right?
FTFF.
Yeah. Okay, it's kind of like how I'm the opposite. I love this Canadian, but fuck Canada. You know what I mean?
Why fuck Canada?
Well, obviously I'm joking, but the thing about Canada is
think about
just how the funny things that I talk. As a matter of fact, speaking of Canada, did you know that you could get a job in Mississauga, and it's and it pays not, I don't know how Canadian money goes exactly with the
birds
and how much a dollar.
Lots of birds.
How I know there's about loonies and toonies and all that. I just don't know the the exchange rate and how far a dollar goes and all the other stuff. So, but
it's getting stronger.
It pays almost $50,000 a year, and it's a job. You could be a candy taster, and all you do is taste fucking candy and sweets and chocolate and shit. Did you know about this?
No, that sounds like more like it would be in Finland. Or something like, oh, thank you so much for the chocolate. That's not Finland, but I might as well just make it Finland.
Do they pay for the surgery when they have to remove your feet and your toes?
50,000 would probably be the equivalent of a $37,000 to $40,000 job in the States.
So that's not bad. I mean, to eat candy.
Roughly.
You know what I mean? It's in Mississauga. So I mean, I don't know what Mr.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what Mr. Saga has to say about it, but she's okay.
Christian gave that goofy laugh.
I've said that all my life. That's one of those things about Canada. I'm always busting Canada's balls because they have these weird. Matter of fact, I used to have.
We do.
It's a Dumais Canadian name instead of dumbass, because we knew a kid, a hockey player. His name was Jerry Dumais, Dumais, and then we were watching hockey all the time, and you see all these strange last names. So it just became an expression, dumbass Canadian names. Then it became Dumais Canadian names, because if you're Canadian, instead of saying dumbass, you're going to say Dumais. It became this whole thing. But Canada does have a lot of strange names in it.
You can't. You started this with Mississauga. You've got Mississippi. What the fuck the difference?
Well, no.
I don't know, Mr. Sippy. Right
You're
back
right.
at
I
you.
never think about that. Mississauga, Mississippi. You're right. That's fair. It never even occurred to me, though. Wow.
Wyoming. Wyoming. Fuck. Idaho. Iowa. What the fuck? Just amalgamate that. Amalgamate it to...
Wyoming start with a Y?
Should it just amalgamate it to one state that no one gives a fuck about in the middle of the country?
I just
Alabama.
Wyoming starts with a W. It should be W-oming.
W-oming. Wyoming should be
Kansas.
A movie.
Fuck it.
There should be a character, and at the end of the movie, they're like Wyoming. Why? You know?
See,
Christian's
exactly.
right, though. Christian's right, though. If you're not on a coast, if you're not on West or East Coast, really those middle states don't matter. Yeah. That's where a lot of the crazies are.
Yeah,
that's where most of the crazies are.
Well, I don't know about that.
Or border ones, except for maybe North Dakota.
California's on a coast. Florida's on a coast. And they're fucking wackadoos. You know?
They're wackadoos, but California's safe wackadoos. They're just
safe. There's more serial killers from California than anywhere. Every time there's a serial killer, fucking in the 70s and 80s, they ravaged California.
Son of Sam, right out of California.
What's that? Who?
Son of Sam, right out of California.
Wow. Gotta give New York some. That was all New York, too. Oh, man. But
the New York Ripper?
Yeah, the Boston Strangler. How about the Boston Strangler? You can't forget him.
Yeah.
Shit.
Right out of Syracuse.
The what about Syracuse?
I don't know what Syracuse came out of my head.
Yeah, the Syracuse Strangler.
Okay, here's something else about Canada. What did I say before about, okay, Mississauga is a weird
Dumb
name,
names.
but you countered Mississippi. Okay, that's fine. Damn, what's the other one? What's that? Winnipeg is, I always thought it was a ridiculous sounding name. Winnipeg, you know, it's like a prize. Winnipeg! You know?
I'll give you that. I don't know if it's as stupid as Wyoming or Wyoming or whatever the
How
fuck
about
it's
us?
called.
How about us? Wisconsin.
Winnoning Rider.
Yeah.
Wisconsin.
New Mexico. You hated the other one. Why create a new one?
Hey,
There's
they
two
created
border walls.
They created a new Finland right in Canada too. So there.
You're right.
For Marco.
No, it's Foundland. Newfoundland.
Oh, sure. That's the one time you pronounce something correctly, the way it's spelled. And the other time, it's fucking, well, it's this. No, it's actually pronounced this way, you know?
Oh, like New Orleans? It's New Orleans. No, it's New Orleans. New Orleans. Fuck you.
Nobody here is gonna argue in favor of anyone from Louisiana, so you're not gonna really. That's probably the first state to go.
Fuck you, hatchet fodder. Boom.
I know people. I have people in New Orleans, and the whole Nolans thing is just a fucking. It's a pride
Tourist.
thing.
It's
a thing. It's for that. It's just the way their accent is. So they've just embraced it. Nolans. You know what I mean? Like
that awful,
stupid,
horrible accent, inbred accent. Cut that state right. Cut that L right out.
Cut it out.
Anything south of Detroit should just be burned.
Starting with Florida, even though it's the furthest south. That is the craziest place, though. The crazy crimes that come out of Florida on a daily basis, you wouldn't believe it. So.
I think most of the porn comes out of Florida, though, so we got to keep that channel safe.
Oh yeah, and
those Florida women are crazy, I hear.
Indeed. The other thing about Canada,
MILF hunters from there. I'm just kidding.
Is it? Well,
I don't know. Another thing about Canada, enlighten me, because I always learn shit from you about my own country, and I'm not being. No, I'm not being. I'm being legit.
Very big on choirs. Did you know that?
I did. That part I did not know. The choir part that Dave thinks. Heather and I were talking. We're like, I think he's crazy. I'm actually kidding. I put words in Heather's mouth. She never said that.
Listen, I've given you proof. I've cited. I wish I could. They will pop up on YouTube. I should just get more. I should get more deeper in the weeds in some of those Canadian commercials. But they always had that singing. Just like I even mentioned it a few weeks ago. That in Black Christmas when they were singing the freaking, what do you call it? It's the kids outside were even doing it. And those were children.
The Christmas carols.
They just sing.
How are you supposed to sing them? They weren't doing the Mariah Carey thing at that point. Like that's how you sing a Christmas carol.
No.
Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree.
Yes, but not children. Not children. They don't sing that way. Children and
What?
kids should sound like kids. You know what I mean? These are fucking kids. They make them sound like the fucking opera singers of Carnegie Hall or some shit. I don't know.
Can we get Marco to come in as head host?
I don't want to hear shitty kids singing outside my house. I want to hear legit, classically trained operatic kids singing at my front door.
Yeah, you want some
And then
green?
I want
Sing.
to be like, get the fuck off my porch. I'm a Jew, you fucking goy bastard.
Yeah, you should be going, ha hong, ha hong. How do you, like, you're supposed to read. If that, you would pay for it. Top dollar. No. I was trying to read from, like when you're doing your bar mitzvah and shit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah,
I am coming in.
Very phlegmy.
Here's what I want to ask you. Now, okay, let's talk about. Well, one more thing, not Mississauga. I don't like the fact that they have an Oshawa and an Ottawa in the same country. It's always bothered me.
Same country, same province. Why does that bother you? What? How much time do you spend on this shit?
I just hear that name.
Ottawa
I'm like, that's
and
all
Oshawa.
gross. Why can't you call it something else?
It's always bothered.
I can't help it. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Why would you have an Oshawa
How
and an
many
Ottawa?
Fayettevilles do you guys have? Or Fayettevilles, or however you say. Like,
But
you
that's
go
not
in
a
every.
state or a province. You know what I'm saying? That's a major part.
Do you guys
How
have an
many
Oshawa tree?
provinces?
Those are two separate cities. Do I have a what?
Joshua Tree.
That was funny. I missed it the first time. Sorry, I was so enraged.
How many provinces? Don't know. How many provinces are in Canada? How many? I don't know.
7,
That I don't know.
if I'm remembering my geography correct.
What do you say, 7?
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Two
No.
territories.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's 50
Wait,
states.
we'll go through them. We got BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec. I'm wrong because there's more than 7. Because then we've got Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland, and PEI, I guess, because it's so 10. I'm totally
10
wrong. And then 2 provinces
and 3 territories.
And 2 states. Well, yeah, 3 because
Yeah,
none
I
of
looked it up, and of
it.
course, there's a fucking picture of a moose, right? I'm on a site looking
Northwest
at it, and of course,
Territories,
there's a big
Yukon, and
fucking
none of it.
moose in it. I love it. I love moose. I'm jealous.
No, I don't think I've never been in the Northwest Territories. I had a chance to go once, but I didn't go. I've been close, but I've never been to any of the territories. That's north.
Yeah.
That's like
Now,
going to
how big-
Alaska for you guys.
How big is it, like geographically, compared to
It's
the
one of
United States?
It's bigger than geographically. It's larger than the United States.
So it's
one of
larger,
the
yet
largest.
there's-
It's one of the largest countries geographically, but remember that's incorporating a lot of the northern territory. But population-wise, we're like a 10% of what you guys have. We have like 38 million.
So you have a lot of
that's awesome.
you got a lot of clean air and a lot of nice looking land, is what you're saying.
That's
we
right. Why do you think I rub it in each and every fucking show?
What's that?
Why do you think I rub it in each and every show?
It's true. He's right. And it's true. I do see those are the parts about Canada I love. I always praise it for this and that and the other thing, but at the same in the same coin, I also make fun of a lot of like ridiculous things that I hear and see that come out of it. That's all it is. And I will take back what I said, because I'm thinking about the Charlie Brown Christmas special. When they sing at the end of that show, they also kind of sound like adults. You know when Charlie Brown and the Peanuts gang are singing "Hark the Herald Angels"?
The what gang? The Penis Gang.
They must have come out of Florida.
Yeah.
The Penis Gang.
Hark the Herald Angels sing.
Dave, now I'm surprised you're defending
From
it
the balls.
and changing your mind on it and not yelling about the fact that your cartoon kids should sound like cartoon kids.
That's what I'm trying to say. In that instance, they don't. When they start singing "Hark,"
but you should be angry about it.
Well, that part is ridiculous. But I was always check it out though. Every time I watch that scene, I always laughed as a kid and still do, because the way they sing and then what their mouths do. I'm so focused on the funny animation that I wasn't thinking about the vocals. Because you know what they do when they're singing? They go loo loo loo, and they're holding up their heads, and then all of a sudden they take like a breath and they go, you know what I'm talking about? And then their mouths open back up again. It's ridiculous looking. I love it. But
oh man,
I'm pretty sure they do sound like adults when they do "Hark the Herald Angels" or "Oh Christmas Tree." Sorry, wrong song. "Hark the Herald" was in what do you call it? Black Christmas, and "Oh Christmas Tree" is what they sing in "Oh Christmas." I don't know. Either way, there's a lot of funny things in Canada. I can't help it.
Do you need Christian and I to be here for this?
He's having an argument with himself.
I
don't know. What do you think, Dave? Too?
You see, that's how my mind works all fucking day long. It's.
Guys, we need to take a break. Dave needs his shower.
No wonder your wife's dying to get into the shower. You know what the thought process is happening.
She said thank you, by the way. She says thank Christian, she told me. Because I told her what happened. Because, first of all, we were supposed to do this on Friday night. And then it got postponed again to Sunday morning. So here we are, Sunday morning. I get up, I set my alarm. My wife sets her alarm. Whatever the deal is. I get upstairs, we find out, these guys start texting. Usually, it doesn't happen that way. They're like, hey, what's up? Christian's awake. Brandon's awake. Time limits, everything else. Okay, I'm like, well, I guess Christian, I'll skip the shower. I'll make the coffee now. You can be the wrench today. No, he said I'll be the wrench.
I'm the wrench, everybody.
Yes, but then when I told the wrench that you said you were going to be the wrench, he said, tell him I said thank you.
I told them.
And guess what? She's showering this very second. Of course.
Perfect.
Yeah. See?
Thinking of me.
Yeah.
You
thinking of
can't
you.
say that.
I don't care what she's thinking of, as long as she don't do nothing about it. Honestly. You know, how many times have you fucked one woman and thought of? Forget about it. I don't even.
We're not gonna get it. That's like. Woo.
Yeah, I don't want to go down that road. Holy cow! Don't go down that road. Now, Brandon, here's just something. I was listening to a podcast the other day, and I'm gonna go from Canada to Judaism to ask you a question. One, to be fair, when this is over, you guys can question me all you want about anything. But here's the thing I don't understand, and it's probably gonna sound rather ignorant, but if I wanted to become Jewish, I could tomorrow. Not tomorrow, but I could transition to become Jewish, correct?
You could transition. You have to have your penis enlarged.
Yeah. Enlarged. I think we'll be taller than him.
We Jews, we carry around you carry a big stick.
Well, that's
not what I. That's not what I heard.
Though, right?
No, it's not. Yeah, you could. Yeah, my cousin converted.
So here's what's confusing about me.
Go ahead.
About the whole Jewish thing. I don't understand. Now, if I can convert to Judaism, how come there's always these stereotypical, like there is for everybody, things about Jewish people with the way they talk, the way they look, like there is with everybody. If I become Jewish, I don't become that. That's the question. There is a religion and there's also a race, correct? And this has always confused me.
Yeah, you wouldn't be accepted into like the Orthodox community.
Even if you got the cherry curls?
Yeah, the cherry curls. The payas or anything like that.
I said cherry.
Yeah, they're very big with soul glow.
Soul glow.
Let it shine.
So that's what that's what I don't get. You to be Jewish is a race and a religion, and it's always confused me. And I never asked anybody, but I'll ask you.
A race?
Well, no or not. That's what I'm confused about. How come people say, "Oh, that guy"? How come that guy's got a big Jew nose? They say. What does that have to do? Is that just something completely made up? Do Jewish people?
I think that's made up.
Or Jew fro? How about a Jew fro? What does that mean? Is that something that has to do with like or a race? Like I'm Italian, or does it have to do with a religion? Like I'm, Christian Catholic. That's what confuses me about the whole Jewish thing.
Now I'm confused. I've never really thought about it. You're confusing me.
Well, okay. What's your race?
My race?
Yeah.
I am African American.
You're a box you check when you.
My race would be Caucasian.
Okay, your race would be Caucasian. I get that part. My race would be Caucasian too, but I'm also Italian. You're Caucasian. But
my ethnicity would be probably like Polish, German. I think there's some Irish in there. Definitely some African American below the belt going on.
So how
just in the balls.
How does all that other stuff fit in then? Like Jerusalem and the Holy Lands and all that stuff.
That's all religious.
That's just religious.
Yeah.
Okay. Then how come they have that accent when they talk, the old Jewish people, and they'll say, oy vey. I know these are stereotypes, but I'm trying to say, doesn't it sound like a racial thing when people say all those things and eat all those foods? Doesn't that sound more like an ethnic thing than a religious thing? Or am I way off?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I think it just depends on, where they come from.
Okay.
But you're talking about like people who were born here and grow up in the Hasidic community and still talk like that.
See, again, I don't know. I haven't really been around a whole lot of.
I mean, oy vey is Yiddish. A lot of people from the old country speak Yiddish.
Okay, so the old country being what? The East stuff. See, you're as confused as I shouldn't have brought it up. I don't know.
Yeah, what is it?
I have questions. He doesn't know the.
Well, the old country could be any country, I guess. It could be, Jews coming from Poland or Jews coming from Israel or Jews coming fuck, I'm a bad.
So it's almost like a gang. It's almost like a gang. You know, how gang members talk a certain way, and they got gang signs and expressions and stuff. So it's kind of like that. You could be part of this Jewish gang that's from fucking this country or that country, but they all have the same type of slang and the same type of accent. And they come here because remember, I grew up watching Mel Brooks movies, and I saw all those jokes that he always did.
Yeah.
And it's always the same type of. They always do the, you know what I'm talking about, and other shit, and they talk about all that. I don't know. And then you see like older Jewish people, and you could. Here's the weird thing: someone could say he looks Jewish. Now, how does that even exist if it's a religion? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, people just stereotype based on curly hair, big noses, stuff like that. I mean, it's really just sort of like a ugly stereotype.
And they all are, but I'm just using it for reference in my question.
There are a lot. Where's the more stereotypes, Dave?
Well, I'm saying there's a lot of stereotypes about everybody.
Yeah, like if you see somebody with a big wad of cash, be like, oh, that must be a Jew.
Must be a Jew. Well, I think I'm a little more informed than I was prior to asking you, which is something. But it's always been something that's confused me, you know? And I never was comfortable asking anybody until you, so.
Sorry, my volume is dropping in and out. I actually think I'm less informed now.
I just threw a wrench. I threw a monkey wrench into your whole thing. The wrench.
Well, I remember when Arnold tried to convert to Judaism in different strokes. And it wasn't that easy. Remember he wanted those extra holidays? And he went through.
No, it's a process. It's a process to convert to Judaism. You have to really commit to the religion. And most of the people, I have a cousin, my first cousin, he's married, and his wife, she converted, and she's probably the most religious in the family. Because if you convert, you're going through a serious process of understanding religion. Whereas when my brother converted to Muslim, he literally had to recite a passage, and that was it.
Wow, that's it.
And he doesn't practice. He just did it because his new wife wanted to raise, their kids, Muslim. So the father has to be Muslim. So.
Wow.
That's crazy. You know what pissed me off? I wanted to convert to Judaism because I thought that was for judo. I thought that, and then all of a sudden I'd be like a martial arts fucking wizard. Boy, was I wrong.
You'd be a wizard with your finances, not with your hands.
Then I should convert immediately.
Stop buying stupid fucking VHS.
Yeah, just CED.
CED. Go ahead. Want to talk about CED?
You've got one. I didn't even know this freaking existed. I'm being serious. I had
laser. You know what they are.
No, Laserdiscs are Laserdiscs. This is not a Laserdisc. This is pre-Laserdisc. What you've got is not a Laserdisc. It looks like a record. So Laserdisc had the size of a record, but looked like a giant, thick, compact disc. This looks like a record. It's grooved and cut like a record. It's on like vinyl. It's freaking crazy. I didn't even know this format existed.
Wait a minute. So the thing I have is not a Laserdisc? It's called
no.
And you know just by the picture? Wow.
Well, I checked it out. I actually opened it up, even though you're supposed to pop this into the player. That's how it works. But I will. I'll show you. It's crazy. It takes a little bit to get back in because of the way they sit. There's but look, you see that visual?
Yeah, it's like a record. Wow.
It's grooved like a record, and it's two-sided as well.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Try putting that in your Blu-ray player.
It's a short form. Yeah. Motherfucking lied to me. Said it was compatible. There's no 4K shit.
Wow.
You should just pretend like somebody shrunk you, and that's actually a Blu-ray.
Yeah, I'll get what it actually stands for because it's it shrunk me.
So wait a minute. How can you tell that the one I have just by the picture is not a Laserdisc or it's a CED or whatever? Just by the picture, they look that different.
Yeah. When you went through, when you showed your video, you said there's the video disc. You said video disc actually, and I saw it said CD on it, I believe. And I'm like, well, that's not a Laserdisc. That's something different. I go, what the hell is that?
Wow.
Which led me down the rabbit hole of finding out it's CED, which is, and I'm going to say this name. I think it's a longer form of capacity, but capacitance electronic disc. I probably said that first word incorrectly, but you guys could Google it and correct me later. But that I honestly had no clue this format was in existence, and the first 5 Friday the 13th are on that. So it was RCA created this format, and and it was a lot of people still love them. Like there's just like Laserdisc aficionados, VHS aficionados. There's a market. People love these and still play these to this day.
What is that in? Is that like a hard case set?
Yeah, it's
like a hard. Yeah.
See, that's cool. I think that's the appeal of collecting something like that. I mean, can you buy CED players?
Yeah, you can. Now you can. There's a ton of Facebook groups on CED, of which I've joined almost all of them, I think, because I'm looking for these Friday the 13th ones. And I found a guy's like, I've got 1 and 4. How about $20 US each? And I said, cool, can you ship to Canada? He's like, I have no problem. Tell me what you want. I'm like, how about Friday 1 and 4? Like, I mean, do I have to repeat it again? I said,
he said, I have no problem, except why the fuck do you have an Ottawa and an Oshawa?
I don't know which one to send it to. And I'm like, you fucking Yankee prick.
Care of Josh at Oshawa.
Now that is crazy. Now that you've admitted that there's only like 10 provinces or less, that you have an Oshawa and an Ottawa, it's just like the Rough Riders.
Those are 2 cities. What? How many fucking
cities?
Yes. I don't know what. Like they're not provinces. They're cities. We named the provinces already. I got to go through school with you again. We named the provinces. Ottawa is a city, which is the capital of fucking Canada. But then Oshawa is just another city.
In the same state or in the same province?
Same province, but like, dude, that's like. Are you fucking kidding me?
I'd be okay with it if they were in different provinces.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Like
I can't believe they
even have New York and a Barracuse. You know, I don't know. It just
Barracuse.
Are you?
I was about to let you off the hook, but then when I found out they're in the same province, I'm like, well, it's got to be in where you live, right? Because I'm so familiar. No, Ottawa. Yeah. The Ottawa freaking the Senators.
Ottawa.
They're in
Ottawa's
the west,
about
right?
4 and a half hours away. Oshawa, which I have no problem with, is about an hour and 15 minutes away.
Most of our senators are in D.C. and yours are in Ottawa.
Yeah, do they have? They must have senators in Canada. No, it's a thing.
It's premiers. Senators
like team called the Ottawa Senators.
Wait, no, governor. Premiers would be like your governors, and then and then there's like MPs and whatnot for that level.
So there are senators in Canada, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, like the equivalent. Yes.
I have no problem with that team name then. I was gonna say I thought they had no senators. Anyone called senators in Canada, and they named a team the Senators. You know, they'd be like
that would be a problem for you.
The
fucking North Stars.
The North Stars was a better name. Listen, I'm old school. I love all the old Canadian teams. I love the old Edmonton Oilers. I even like the Montreal fucking Expos. I like that old school shit. So I'll never knock the original. And then when it comes to hockey, I root for Canada over the United States because it truly is their sport. They treat Canada like a redheaded. They treat hockey like a redheaded stepchild in the States. So they don't deserve to have the majority of the teams. See, to be righteous, I always choose Canada in that respect when it comes to hockey. It's true. They deserve it. You know, it's their sport. That and curling.
Actually, lacrosse is our national sport, but no one talks about that even in Canada.
They love it in the States. Oh, lacrosse. Everybody's up its ass.
In Israel, it's the Star of David.
Senators. The Star of David Senators?
Yeah, the little Star of David Senators.
Yeah, why is my name David, too? My parents are Italian Catholics. Wouldn't that be a Jewish name, David?
Yeah, I have a cousin, David. The city of David.
Yeah, the city of David. That's
I have a cousin named David from the city of David, and I have a friend named Joshua from Oshawa in Ottawa.
I still can't. Mike Ott. He's from Ottawa.
I can't believe you have such a hang-up on the fact that there's a place called Oshawa and a place called Ottawa, 2 separate cities. I really can't. I can't wrap my head. You got a fucking place called Yonkers. Fucking every time I hear that name, I think of bonkers. Yonkers. How is that not made fun of on a daily basis?
Because it's
honkers. It sounds like big tits. Yonkers. Motorboat those yonkers.
Oh yeah, I think that about Gonzaga. You know that college team, that Gonzaga. Doesn't that sound like tits to you? Look at the Gonzagas on her. I fucking hate that name. See, there's things I hate in the States too. Not hate. They bother me. I can't hate them, but they definitely piss me off. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Growing up, remember, I'm in Buffalo. Maybe I always hear about the Ontario things the most. So when I hear Oshawa and Ottawa, I'm like, gee, that's awfully strange. You know, Oshawa and Ottawa. But either way,
flaccid.
Yonkers.
It's crazy to me. I know but it's crazy. Like you're picking a small city versus like the capital of Canada. I swear, like there's a Fayetteville or Fayetteville. I'm probably saying it wrong. Everywhere I look. Now it might be in a different state, but your states are the size of a fucking postage stamp. I could drive through 3 of them in a couple hours.
It's better off. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'm not. This is not a. I don't mean to be derogatory because I know I do make a lot of cracks against the states. I'm saying that's the reality. When I drive down to when we go to Florida and when we've gone to Myrtle Beach or whatever like that, we drive through 5 states, 6 states, whatever it may be, maybe even more. I start to lose count. All I know is I go the fucking speed limit in Virginia now. Because if you go 70 or whatever, I got caught and the guy gave me a thing and I'm like, oh. I got worried because I heard you had to pay your tickets up front, and he didn't say anything. And I found out that it was I think I've said this on the show. It was careless driving almost, because it was once you're X amount over the limit, it's just automatically a careless driving charge.
You know how you could have gotten out of that if you told them you were from Oshawa, because we're very lenient with those people down here.
Oshawa.
I'm from Oshawa.
Leave Virginia alone.
I collect CEDs. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll let you off with a warning this time.
And look, I have these special jeans on. You know who makes them? Oshawa, Kashawa, Bagashua.
Christian, I'm with you though. I don't want to feel like, even though I'm joking around with you, I'm with you too. Where I think Dave is nuts with the Ottawa Oshawa thing. I'm with you on that.
It's like Ottawa, Oshawa, Ottawa, Oshawa.
No, it's funny. I just think
Oprah.
The way you said, man, it's always bothered me. It's always.
It's kept you up at night.
I just always thought it was weird.
Whenever you're driving, and again, this is it. I guess we all have these hangups is where we're going with it. I get it, Dave. In a sense, as much as I'm making fun of you, I get it. Because like I said, when driving down, the second I go to West Virginia, I warned the family to watch out for backwoods psychos. And I'm not kidding. I'm like, this is where Wrong Turn happened. We don't want to get raped and killed.
True story. This is where it happened.
These mountains are beautiful, but I don't want to get fucked up.
The Wrong Turn Murders, 1977.
Dad, where did Wrong Turn 3 take place?
Right before Wrong Turn 4, son. Now shut up. I'm driving.
No wonder you're driving reckless. You're all over the road there.
I'm watching out for backwoods hillbillies.
I don't blame you there. That's I'm with you in that case. I just
every time
the things about Canada that I tease are just ridiculous things. Nothing against the
no, and again,
for their behavior. You know,
and me either, unless we have listeners from West Virginia that are backwoods that somehow have internet and listen to our podcast. You hear what he said, Dad? We're going to kill him next time it comes through. We're going to kill him good. I want his head up on the mantle.
Is that Travis Christian?
Holy shit! What the hell? I got 8 emails just now.
You know how to field dress a Canadian?
That fucking Canadian, that Canuck, calling him Mr. Sippy. I'll show him Mr. Sippy.
He must be Canucks.
Mr. Sippy.
Mr.
So see, I have to show this to you. There was a fire sale last night. There's a whole thing about that. That's the whole thing I gotta get into. But I have
sales.
Maybe we'll touch upon it later.
Did you bring water?
I gotta show you something that happened in this fire sale. And look what was posted. And look at this.
Spookies.
Oh,
and it went for $35, or are you selling it for $35? Me. Yeah.
I'm not selling it. It's the fire sale guy is selling it. And everybody fucking up his ass. $35 for a VHS of Spookies. I would even pay $35 for a Blu-ray of it.
You know they're from Mississippi. These fucks.
Out of control.
I'll wash myself with a rag on a stick. Every time I watch The Simpsons and I think of that, I think they're from Mississippi, these people. That's it. I got nothing against Mississippi, actually. Beautiful. Very green.
I never been.
Have you been to Mississippi for real?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay. I don't think anyone's been to Mississippi.
Although, all joking aside, I kind of want to go because I think you would have to get through it to eventually get to New Orleans in Louisiana. At least I know the states. I probably know the state. Well, wait, there's 50 states.
You're right.
Is that why there's 50? Is that why there's 50 stars on the flag?
50 stars of David?
50 stars.
50 all for me.
50 stars of David Z.
Yeah, the cult of Z. I should be president.
That's what we should make. That should be one of our stickers we sell. A star of David Z.
You're right. That should be a gimmick.
Yeah.
You're right. We got to get into this.
All these gimmicks.
Yeah, all
time to
tons.
have them come to fruition, whatever.
What?
Fuck.
Fruition.
Feruza. What'd you say?
Feruza.
Have them come to Feruza.
Feruza. Yeah, that's what I said.
I wish.
Feruza.
I tell you what, though, after all the kidding and all that, I think it's better off. I wish we only had, 7 or 8 or whatever the hell
10
the number
states.
was. You know? Yeah, because think about it. Our problem in this country is that every state has its own friggin' laws. And there's always this going on. It just means more confusion. Imagine if they just pieced it all off and they said, well, from now on, there's going to be 7. There's going to be the East Coast, this part here.
The North Atlantic.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool if we just had 7? Oh, it'd be 50. It'd be easier
And
for
everyone has
That's
to
what I
stay
keep
in their
saying.
region.
voting. Wouldn't
Everyone
be
has to stay in their region.
You know
And
what?
like the prison states could be
fine.
like
I mean-
Alabama and Georgia. Like the ones like right in the Georgia's not really in the middle, but Alabama, like whatever's in the middle, that's just like a prison.
Georgia.
That's a prison. You build a wall there.
Yeah.
Perfect.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Right in those
I will
middle
build a
states.
great wall. And he puts one between every fucking thing.
Oh.
How about that
Awesome.
guy with the frogs?
What guy?
You know,
Sorry,
I
guys.
said that. I'm thinking about the intro to Friday the 13th because he says that they do a little clip of Bush. I was gonna call him whatever the fuck Trump saying. I will build a great wall, and then they cut to that thing with that guy talking about gay frogs. You hear that thing? You dump something in the water, it turns the fucking frogs gay. That was crazy. And this really happened. This guy was upset. He said they dumped chemicals in the water or something. I know it's something gay frogs. He was insisting that you pour something in and there's gay frogs as a result or something.
How do you know they're gay?
It's that frog that comes out and does the dancing in Spaceballs.
Oh, I thought they'd be like
That's a gay frog.
ribbit.
He's gay.
I'm sorry.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my. I love that part.
Yours was better. Sing it like that. Oh, gay frogs. That's what the show's come to. Are those the ones that rain down in Magnolia?
Oh wow, frogs rain down in a movie.
Yeah.
It's calling for gay frog tonight.
Gay frogs.
That's the weirdest thing ever.
I'll have to look more into it. I thought it was more known because I heard somebody else talk about it before, but they do it in the intro of Friday, and I know I've heard it come up someplace else. I forgot
Gay
where. But
Frogs was more
There's our
known.
movie, Gay Frogs.
Oh shit! Oh.
These frogs must have been from San Francisco.
Oh, mama
Hey,
mia.
the script writes itself.
You're right. It does right.
I ate some gay frog legs, and now I'm gay, and I have AIDS.
Frog AIDS.
Frog AIDS.
Wow.
We can start a new show. We'll call it Frog AIDS.
Maybe the show doesn't. Maybe the movie doesn't write itself.
Frog AIDS.
Yeah. I got it from a toilet seat. like it's all like the misinformation from way back when. You just reincorporate it into a movie. It would be very timely because it pretty much it's all happening on a different scale with COVID anyway. Misinformation at an all-time high. Frog AIDS.
Yeah, don't forget about Mr. Information though. You know,
Mr. Information.
Back to that. Indeed.
Shit.
Well, speaking of information, let's tell people. Well, they know. I mean, what the hell? The crazy thing that happened with this show, we got a screener. We were all jazzed up to freaking see this movie, The Queen of Black Magic, and then we had the vote, and it came down to the wire, and it became between Inferno and Black Sunday. And Inferno won by 4 votes or something like that. Okay, let's do this. Then the screener gave us a bunch of issues, so we had to adjust on the fly, and we get to do Suspiria and Inferno. So, wow, I'm pretty happy about that. I've never done Suspiria on one of my. I've done it on 22 Shots as a guest, but I've never talked about Suspiria. So, Suspiria and Inferno, and I guess, if you guys don't hear anything else, the next show will probably just make up for it and just do the Queen of Black Magic because it's going to drop on Shudder next week anyway, and we'll just pair that one up with Black Sunday.
Maybe we should do 2 new instead because now we've got some options for new. We'll see. Just throwing it out
2
there.
new.
Well, we did 2 old.
2 new. 2 new. Who knew?
Kelly who?
Kelly who?
I just got a message from Chris this morning, a.k.a. Scott. It says,
Now
guys,
Christian and I don't feel special considering he's emailing everyone, apparently.
I like that, though.
He's emailing everyone. What are you talking about?
I felt special because he wrote to me, and then Christian told me he wrote to him, and now you're telling us he wrote to you.
Oh, so it's all the same thing, which is fine. Good. At least he's not singling anyone out. So you guys know what he mentioned then.
No.
Well, he said the show's been great. He told me we could BS for the 2 hours and not even do a movie review. So that's what we've changed the show to. I'm kidding. No, I'm joking.
Oh.
But that was
BS
high praise. And then he recommended a new movie, and I said I think Brandon saw that already, and I think Brandon really liked that movie. And I guess that's when he reached out to Brandon, and Brandon and him were chatting a bit too. So
which one? Which one, B?
10 minutes to midnight.
Yeah, 10 minutes to midnight.
10
Yeah.
minutes to midnight.
Yes. Awesome.
And he also said that we could review the 10 Canadian provinces. But not to review the 3 territories.
Yeah, we all understand. Except there is one. Is it Johnny Newpants? Someone has a hate on for Manitoba. And every time I make fun of any state, he always brings up Manitoba.
Really?
Is
When
it
I think
Johnny
of Manitoba,
Newpants?
I think about whales. Are there whales in Manitoba or no?
No, because there's no fucking ocean. It's right smack dang in the middle of the country.
That's sexist. If you have Manitoba, you have to have wool Manitoba.
The rage in me grows. It's like heartburn.
Very sexist. Very sexist.
What about
Manitoba.
Manafingera?
I just got your joke because I was too busy getting enraged about Manitoba.
Harry Woe Manfredini.
Woman Toba.
Is that what he said?
I don't know, but that's what he should have said.
Instead
Woman
of
Toba.
Manitoba, you need to have a woman a Toba. And then I said instead of Harry Manfredini, Harry Woman Fredini.
Oh, see?
Everything's
I focused
a man.
on the toe. Right, man. I focused on the toe part. I said, man, a finger a toe.
They're going to have to change the name. We're getting to that part where the society's getting to that stage where they may have to change the name to like unisex Atoba.
Non-binary.
Speaking of that, the fucking
non-gender
fire
specific
sale.
Atoba. Sorry. Fire sale. I'm sorry.
You know-
What about
The fire sale, when it was advertised, some guy put up a thing in the fucking group and said, in a couple days, there's going to be a fire sale. Okay, so now it's sensitive content. I go, what? For an advertisement for a fire sale? Granted, it's a horror group, but still. So sure enough, I click on it. It says this might violate, or it doesn't violate this group's thing, but it's something. I don't know what it said. It was all uptight. I had to press a few buttons in
Four
order to
Guys
see
on
what this
Fire,
picture
right?
was. So,
that one? The guys that were on fire running?
yes, yeah. So a shot from a movie about 4 guys being blasted with fire is now censored on Facebook.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was. I didn't know if it was real footage, but it wasn't. It was from the movie. That's what I wasn't sure, because I asked the same question, Dave, to myself. I was like, is this sensitive because it's like from like a news thing,
Oshawa.
or is it?
It's from Oshawa. Yeah. It's from the Great Oshawa Fires of 1791.
The Great Oshawa.
This is why I prefer to be surrounded by mannequins. They don't talk.
Did you give it a dick yet? Did you give it a dick yet?
No, it's still.
No.
Did it give you a dick?
Still hung like you.
Did you give him a dick? Oh, okay, so maybe it was real people on fire.
Maybe
it wasn't.
Yeah.
I doubt he would do that, but I don't know. I guess either. Well, I
wouldn't be surprised if that would be in poor taste.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. I just can't see somebody doing that, especially this guy. I'll tell you what about the people we've talked some shit before about the collectors, but they're much more friendly a group than the stuff I encounter in horror groups. They help each other out. They give each other deals. They're cordial. The only time I ever had a problem was back in the early days when I came on and said I just want the slips because I'm going to cut them, and they all got upset about it. Other than that, there's been no discrepancy with it. They all want to see my thing when I'm done with it. I told them about why I collect. They don't care that I don't watch the movies. All this other stuff. You know, I have conversations with them. I buy with them. I trade. I sell some things to them. So I have this back and forth. And I'll tell you, they're a pretty friendly bunch, these collectors. I know Brandon likes to make fun of them, but they're okay.
New family. Dave's fallen into a new cult.
Well, it's almost over. I'm just about filled. Matter of fact, last night, I'm proud of myself because during this fire sale, I had a purchase. And it was also, I was the first on 3. And they were ones I've wanted for a long time. So it worked out. But one was Toolbox Murders, which that's hard to come by. And it was up there for 12 or 50, whatever the hell it was. It was a Toolbox Murders box. So I said, okay. I yes that one. I was first in line on that one. And then... oh, what the hell was the other one? There was another one. It's something I really wanted too. Damn it. Well, either way, there was the other one that I got for $10. Then all of a sudden it's going down and I see visiting hours and it pops up. I'm like, oh, wow, visiting hours. I love that cover. Yes. So now I sit there. As time goes on, as cool as a box of it is, I already have the 11 by 17 hanging. And I said, well, it's probably not a good idea. So I showed a little bit of composure. And I went back and I edited my yes out. I let somebody else have it.
And then you were like, Fright Night, fuck that cover art.
And Friday, nobody bid on it. It was $10. But I have the VHS and the thing now. But I was like, wow, that's cheap for that one. But nobody bid. I couldn't believe it. But either way,
say yes or me.
Yes, me, claim. I say me because it only takes 2 letters.
So do you warm up before the fire sale starts and go? Me, me. Look at Christian. He's like, can we get on with the fucking show? Christian's done.
No, I was looking up something because of what Dave was saying about the fire sales, but I couldn't find it. So it was supposed to compliment what he was saying, but I couldn't find it in time. But yes, let's whatever you're writing.
Find a compliment for you.
What did it have to do with?
No, about that. Because I've found that there's now people announcing them, and I never see anything about them after. Like it's like,
well, they announce them, and then you got to say and you have to remember the time.
Yeah, it gets annoying. But yes, I also found, as I mentioned last show, that these people are putting me or claim or whatever way too quickly to be able to do anything for most of them. So I prefer the ones that just say, "I've got these for sale. Are you interested?"
But then you got to be right place, right time. But I agree because I have gotten some. You know what I got coming? I got a bad taste. It's an empty box, but I got a bad taste. I know that's one of your favorites, Steve.
Yeah, I like that one.
I do like that box. Yeah. So I'm just about done. I have
I'm gonna cut it up. I'm gonna cut that slip. Dave, let me ask you something. I have a quick question for you about your movie poster site that you order from.
It's funny you should say. Dave Parker just sent me a message, and I'll just say here what it is. But go ahead, please.
Oh,
sorry.
No, yeah, I was gonna ask because I told you that I order from a guy, and he'll I have a guy,
customized,
and he'll take a picture, off the internet. If he could get it in good quality, he'll print that. But can you do that off this site if they don't have a poster you're looking for, or no?
I've never asked them. They're just there, and I just get what they have. I never knew. I ended up buying a Reanimator, by the way, because I found one shipped for $10 here. And the way I see it is this, because I think your friend who makes it for $5, there's still going to be a shipping charge and everything else. And this guy,
Yeah, well, I usually pick them up at the convention. That's why he goes to the convention all the time. So I'll order them and then meet him at the convention and pick them up. But yeah,
okay.
there would be a shipping charge. This $10 was for an 11 by 17.
Yes, it was 11 by 17.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not bad because I couldn't get it on my. But okay, since we're on that, let me because Dave Parker asked. I've said it before. I'll say it again. But the where I go for the 11 by 17s is called moviepostershoponline.com. Moviepostershoponline.com.
Yeah, they got everything too. They got
no, it's not online. It's just moviepostershop.com. I apologize. Moviepostershop.com. That's where you go for 11 by 17s. Now, if you want bigger posters, the website I go to is called bananaroad.com. They are $10 for the 24 by 36s, which is a damn good price. They don't have nearly the selection Movie Poster Shop has, but they do have some there, horror related and things.
And Poster Shop has the other sizes as well, though.
Yeah, they do, but I think that they're more expensive.
Well, they're legit. They might be originals and stuff.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I've ordered from both, and I've never had any problem as far as like looking at it and say, oh, this doesn't look good or anything like that. Sometimes you get the fold lines in them on a couple. Yeah. They'll tell you that. It will see it on the actual picture. But honestly, I've come to have a little bit of affection. I've become a little affectionate with a couple of them having those fold lines because it almost looks like it's something from that era.
Yeah.
Because that's something. So I've accepted it. Not on all. I have like 2 or 3 and they don't bother me. But like, if you go to Movie Poster Shop and get like a 24 by 36, it costs like what the hell is it? See, of course these ones all are 27 by 40, so it's not accurate. Either way, I'll have to go and look at one of mine and give you. But bananaroad.com for the bigger ones. Now there's a guy on eBay, and it's called Gore Store New York, and that's where anytime I can't get an 11 by 17 from Movie Poster Shop, if I just they don't carry it. Sometimes he does carry it, and he has all sizes. And that's Gore Store New York in NY. GORESTORENY. He's a seller on eBay. And the best thing about him is not just that that he has a lot. He ships very quickly. So those are the places to go. And if anybody has a Halloween 2 VHS original from 1981. That's the new white whale. That's what I want. The one with the pumpkin. It says all new. That classic thing. I have the poster. It's fine. But I also have the VHSs on my shelf for 1, 3, 4, and 5. It seems not cool to not have the 2 in there from that time.
It's totally not cool.
I don't like it. See, I'm not going to say I'm a completist because I don't have 5 and I don't have 6. But I am a completist for the 80s. You see what I'm saying? If it came after the 80s, I don't care. Everything on my shelf.
5 was 89.
I know it is. I know it is. But it's just, I'm not a completist even because it's like, well, 5 is 5. It's not that much different of a poster than 4. I'm probably going to end up freaking getting the damn thing one of these days.
It really
is a completist.
It was such a cheap. It just used the art from 4 and then went into his mask a bit more, and then used another picture of Daniel Harris. It was really cheap. The poster for it, to be honest. But the meta. So every time I see the people advertising, they've got the meta version of the MEDA version of Halloween. Every time I see that, I just assume it says media because that's the version I'm used to. So what are those ones that everybody puts on some pedestal that I actually really don't like all that much?
Meta. I don't know what that is. I'm guessing
unless it was some unless meta turned into media down the road. I just thought it was a typo, but I actually zoomed in on it, saying, "What the fuck are these ones?" And it's for Halloween 1, possibly 2. Possibly 2.
Well, media is the big one. That's the one everybody wants to get for part 1. So I don't know. That's interesting. Oh, Company of Wolves. That's the one I got yesterday for $10. I've been waiting on that.
That's cool.
Yeah. That cover with the wolf coming out of the guy, that art. Oh, man. So, yeah, it's weird. Sometimes they'll pop up at a cheap price, and other times someone else could be selling on a fire sale for $30, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, I have a plan for poster collecting that I'm going to start doing.
Yeah?
Yeah. all. I mean, I could say it's nothing. It's not that big a deal. It's nothing original or anything, but all Italian horror. And I would love to get the giallos in like different languages. Obviously Italian, but if they have, I've seen some of these poster arts in different languages, whether it's Japanese or whatever, but they look awesome.
You know what's a great poster for Italian is the bird with the crystal plumage.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one? Yeah.
It is a great poster. Because I've been watching so much Italian horror and so many giallos, I just want to start collecting like all of them. They got such beautiful covers.
That one, Dave. And supposedly back like in 2013, it sold like there was an auction that sold for $13,000 on eBay. Now I'm not sure if they've probably popped up since then, but those ones.
Okay, I have seen those ones with the yellow and the black. And
yeah,
there
but
are
I've
other ones that are called meta.
Oh no,
right.
but it says media there on this one. But I swear the one the guy showed me said meta, because I zoomed in. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, he misspelled when he was forging.
No, because there it is. It's right there. Meta.
There you go.
And then there was one right beside it that said media.
MEDA. I'm thinking META when he says meta. Okay.
Meta.
Right.
Sorry. Duh.
No, it's okay. I'm not used to hearing a word called meta.
Meta.
And I'm used to hearing that word meta. And you're from Canada. You should definitely pronounce the C's or the T's strongly. So you wouldn't know.
Well, I call it Canada.
Canada. That's how they say it in Oshawa.
Yeah.
Fucking Oshawa.
I don't even know why I'm defending Oshawa. Fuck Oshawa.
Uh-oh. Okay, check it, though. There's something else about these things. Bootleg movies are embraced by the VHS community because they're called boots. They sell them. They're not the real one, and they have a cover.
Boots are made for walking. Yeah, walk right the fuck out
boots.
of here.
I just got 2 of them. I only wanted one. Some guy put this thing up, and he said, this movie and this movie, $15 for these boots. What they are is they're people that have made. They have the old slip from the old one, so it's the same thing, and they put it on in a case. But the movie itself is manufactured differently, and it's not like the one that was from the 80s. So it's like they have a different type of VHS, and they're called boots, and it's something that people are cool with. Guess what? I got fucking Hack-O-Lantern. Remember Hack-O-Lantern? That cover with the fucking guy holding out the head, that red box? I had to get that. That's a classic one. But it came with another one.
Are these boots kinky?
He's been waiting. You can just see. Are these boots kinky?
I'm waiting for this fucking VHS conversation, and you guys. Can we go back to talking about Friday the 13th?
Sure. I got this Friday the 13th VHS. That's part 4. That's an original.
Good Lord.
Part 4.
Yeah, that's good. That'll give you no pleasure ever.
It's always pleasure. Every time you look at it, you're like, ah.
I've jacked off to it 3 times already, Brandon. What are you talking about?
Yeah, man. Boots. But check it. I cannot get a Jason Lives. And here's the worst part. I'm only collecting 1 through 8. The Paramounts to me is what it's all about. I don't need the VHS for fucking Freddy X or any of them fucking media movies.
Freddy X.
You know, whatever. To me, that's
favorite movie,
whatever.
Freddy X.
I have zero nostalgia for those movies. For me, it's all about the 80s. So for me, I'm not saying the series ends, but Friday the 13th, 1 through 8, the Paramount years, is where all my love goes. The other stuff, I still dig it, but I mean, it's not the same. So I want the VHSs for those. So now I have them all. And the worst part is this. 2 weeks ago, I found a guy for $8. I got the freaking Jason Lives on eBay, and I put it in. The next day, he sent me an email, and he goes, you know what? He goes, there's a possibility I can't find this one. I got to look around some more. I may not have it. Sure enough, the next day he canceled it, and I have not been able to find it. The cheapest you can find a decent one is like $18 plus
that's
shipping.
Bullshit, because that's exactly it. He probably found out he could get more money for it and bullshitted you. You should just leave him a bad review, because that's bullshit. If you won the auction, you won the auction.
Well, it wasn't
you
even
can't
an
find
auction.
it.
It was to buy it now.
Oh, then that's bullshit. Buy it now. That's even more bullshit, because that's exactly it. Jason Lives is it would probably cost me with exchange $30 to $40, including shipping to get. Look at Brandon's falling into a peaceful sleep. Everybody wins on this show.
Well, he said, see, guess what we did? He said, enough VHS talk. Let's talk about Friday the 13th. So instead of doing that, we combined them. No, it's Friday the 13th VHS.
Fucking skunks. Is
We're gonna
Tales
have
from
a
the
new
Quad?
show.
Is Tales from the Quad Dead Zone still sought after VHS?
What? What is that?
You've never
Is
heard
it-
of Tales from the Quad Dead Zone?
Oh, the title? Oh, I don't know if it's on VHS. Every
No,
time I
it
hear
is.
that title,
It is on
throws me
VHS. It
off.
was always like the holy grail of VHSs. It always cost like $1,000 to find.
I don't even
That
know.
name always throws me off.
I don't
It
even
doesn't
know
make
the
any
name.
sense. Tales from the
You never heard
Quad.
of Tales from the Quad Dead? It's a super low budget film.
I've
No.
heard the name said before. Let's see. Tales from. I don't even. The Quad.
QUA Dead.
Right. Oh, it's one word?
I think so.
Let's
No,
see.
I've never
I
heard of
can't
it
type.
before
Every
in
time
my
I
life.
want to press Q, I press W. Damn it. Tales from the Quad Dead Zone.
When I hear titles like that, it
VHS.
makes me want to stop recording the show and just go back to my little bubble where I just enjoy the movies that I want to watch and watch the movies I want to watch when I want to watch
I heard
them.
the movie is atrocious. It's an old movie, and it's
Tales
supposedly
from
like
the
a
Quad-
super
Oh,
low
for
budget.
Christ's sakes. It's a fucking, it's like, what do you call it? It's like, what's
shot
that
on video.
Shit.
555?
Yeah, that fucking, worse than any of that. That stupid fucking thing that I said was the worst horror movie I ever saw. The fucking, I'm
Spookies?
gonna give you a lesson in pleasure and pain. No, that guy, not Ooga Booga. What's that fucking guy called?
Booga Booga.
Yeah, that little black puppet.
Oh, Black Devil Doll.
Black Devil Doll from Hell.
Yeah.
Oh, so fucking bad. Anyway, this is what it's like. $100 or $130. Look at this fucking terrible thing. You're gonna
my
pay money
God.
for that? Look at that, see?
Oh, that wasn't the cover I remember. Wow.
Horrible.
Well, this is hardbox DVD. Oh, it's a DVD.
I'm bidding on it right now, actually. I love when
Anyway,
people put like their price on top. $35, I just put $1. I keep playing it like it's the price is right. Nope, too high, $1. I wonder how long it will take for me to get kicked out of all the groups.
$1. I wish we had an auction.
$1 US. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Well, speaking of Italian horror, B, it's going to be really interesting to hear your take on these movies tonight, since you've been so Italian lately with all this viewing. And I was thinking of that a lot yesterday as I was watching both of them. I'm like, yeah, this is very Italian, and I was trying to compare them to other Italian movies. And when I watch Argento movies, I don't always necessarily get that feel. I just think this is an Argento movie, but I don't know. It's weird. It's weird.
Dave, you'll like this cover better. This was the cover I was talking about.
Oh yeah, there's a skull on it. Nothing wrong.
Yeah.
with
It used to be like the holy grail of, because I used to watch like documentaries on VHS collecting, horror VHS
Really?
collecting, and that was
Really?
always
I gotta
like
see some of that. Wow.
the holy grail. But I hear like my friend, you could watch the movie on YouTube. My buddy watched it and said it was garbage. But yeah, no, Italian
Sure is.
horror is like my jam this year. Like I've done a lot of first time watches and also a lot of rewatches, including tonight. Like obviously I've seen both of these before. I've seen Suspiria way more than I've seen Inferno. Tonight, this morning, whatever. I didn't have my shower or my coffee either. Granted, I don't shower in the morning and I don't drink coffee, but I'm using it. But Inferno, this was like the first time where I watched Inferno. I was telling Christian where I actually understood it.
Me too.
And not only that, I'm saying to myself as I'm understanding, I'm like, why was I ever confused in the first place? And I think it.
Oh, I
just
know
came down-
why.
You do.
Oh, I know why I was confused. Oh, there is a plot point that I'm confused with still that I will ask you about.
Okay.
I understood it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with everything. There's still a little bit of like head scratchy things. I'm like, well, like logic, but still, I understood the narrative except for the ultimate goal. We have to get to that after, though. I mean, I don't understand why. We'll get to it. I don't mean I'm not going to jump ahead. It's just
Why? Why?
Why? Wyoming? Why? cut the credits.
Why? Imagine that. We just end the show there.
Yeah, Oming. I'm gonna name a kid Oming. You know, but that should be our new
Why is this
ending.
episode just
Yeah.
one episode or 1 hour?
Yeah.
You take what
Just
you
like
can get.
Favor. I always wanted to have a kid and name it Favor because of that expression por favor, the Spanish thing, and then I could say por favor. You know, I thought it'd be funny. See, so I always make fun of Spanish too, so you don't feel bad. Things that are foreign to me just make me laugh. I don't mean to be an ass about it. Like that upside down question mark. Oh, I can't fucking stand that thing.
Or the backwards N.
know?
We've commented on it before. In like in like Russian or whatever like that. They've got the backwards N.
It's funny you say that. I was gonna say, look at the Russian language, Dave. Just look at something spelled in Russian. It doesn't make any sense. Well,
Really?
How could they hack anything? There's no backwards N on my keyboard.
And there's no upside down question mark.
Yeah, there is.
Putin.
Turn the keyboard upside down.
How do you spell Putin?
I turn the keyboard upside down, and I'm able to hack with the upside down question mark.
That fucking upside down question mark. At the beginning of the sentence, there's an upside down question mark, then the question, and then a regular question mark at the end of it. Why?
They're not sure if what they're about to write is actually a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they give it upside down. This may or may not.
This may or may not be a question.
So I'll do it this way. Holy fuck.
Are we reviewing these fucking movies?
Yeah.
Two in a row. Let's start with Inferno.
All right, ready. Inferno, 1989. Suspiria.
I'm so hot. Oh, I gotta take off my Suspiria coat too. I'm all hot here. Holy fuck.
Look at him. Look at him.
What is he shaking his titties at us?
Yeah. Look at those Yonkers.
I'm in New York.
That was the most feminine way anyone's ever taken off their shirt.
I know. It was like...
Oh, because it was stuck.
He was like, trying to show off his
tie.
And
the thing was stuck. You know what I mean? Instead of pulling it out, I was lazy, and I just shook it out with my shoulders instead
you
of
shook
grabbing.
way too long, though.
Holy shit.
Remember, if you shake it
a
with
visual
right,
treat.
That
That was a visual
right, you're playing with it.
This has been a visual show tonight, and that was a visual treat for all the watchers of the show.
Fucking sweating.
Neck just trying
Oh,
to
shit.
do an imitation of that.
You just threw your neck out. Maybe it's the weight of your hair throwing your head all off balance.
No. All right. Suspiria, 1977. Written by Dario Argento? Or written by Daria?
No.
No, what?
No, it wasn't written by Daria.
Not according to her.
God bless her. Rest in peace. I love her, but I don't know.
All right. Directed by Dario Argento, an American newcomer to a prestigious German ballet academy comes to realize that the school is a front for something sinister amid a series of grisly murders. I watched a documentary on the DVD last night, and that's why I brought it up, because it's like it came from this story that my grandmother used to tell me, and this, and she's like, well, Dario came up with all the killings, but the story was mine, and like,
because the Three Mothers, I get that, because the Three Mothers wasn't invented by Argento.
No.
I could see that. So if maybe she introduced Argento to the Three Mothers mythology, then fine. I can see what she's saying.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it's a co-collaboration, I'm sure. So
maybe so. I have nothing against her, believe me.
I'm not, and again, this is going to come out but this is a perfect example of the movies we discussed. Like, don't get me wrong, there's substance here, but this is definitely stylized filmmaking, and that's what makes the movie.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to say a lot of people will use the SOS, the style over substance argument. This is S and S, style and substance. There's certainly enough substance here to carry the film. I think what maybe spoils me a little bit is how well the remake really upped the substance and the depth of characters. That I do take some issues with some things underdeveloped or could have used more development in this. But visually, from a stylistic standpoint, from a music standpoint, I mean, this is a 20 out of 10. I mean, it's just so fucking amazing.
And that's what carries the movie and makes it so rewatchable. Like, it's been compared to like a nightmare or a dream, and that's the quality, especially with the repetitive music box soundtrack, which is great. But everything about that and the colors are great. And I was just telling B right before when we were waiting for you, Dave, I've been wanting to get this 4K for the longest time, and it's on special now. But I didn't know it was on for $39.99, but comparatively to like $49.99 or $59.99 initially, here. So I'm like,
Man.
I'll grab it for that still, but I didn't know I was going to get it in time for the show, so I'm just going to grab it. But I really wanted to watch that for the show to comment on that. But just the 1080p version looks great. But I have the same version.
The restoration?
Yeah, I've got the same version though on DVD that Brandon has, which is
I don't
the
have
Anchor
the
Bay
4K
one.
yet either.
And that one
But
is. I still have
you
that.
the Blu-ray though, right?
No.
You have the Blu at least?
No, I
have a
watched it.
DVD.
I watched the Blu-ray, a digital copy, but I don't own the Blu. That's why I want to upgrade to the 4K actual physical.
Are you talking about the actual 4K itself or the 4K restoration that's the Blu? Because there's two of them.
What the fuck? The 4K, the one that's 4K at the top, not the restoration one.
That's the
I'm just making sure because there are two, and they came out within like a year from each other, both from the same company.
Yeah,
First,
yeah.
they did the same sneaky trick they did with Maniac. They brought it out. It was a 2K restoration or a 4K, whatever it was, but it was a Blu-ray. And then they came out with the actual hard copy 4K like a year later.
Yeah,
that's all I'm asking. Okay.
Sorry.
Either
I mean,
way.
it jumped down your throat.
No. It's all worth it. It's all worth every cent. It doesn't matter.
I always jokingly say that I love the soundtrack, but I do have a problem with the witch. Like,
are you kidding?
I say it all the time.
That's amazing.
No, I like saying it, but you're like, if you don't know anything about the movie, why are you just throwing that word out in the fucking opening? Why not let it play and maybe have it develop as the movie progresses? I'm just trying to nitpick here because I love the film. I think it's all three of us do, but I'm just trying to think like, aren't you laying your cards all out beforehand if you really don't know the movie or what you're about to experience? Like just by having it thrown out there in the soundtrack of all things. Again, I love it. The soundtrack I'll listen to in my car. But I'm talking about now within the realm of the movie, in the opening scenes, which witch, twice. When like I think it's like when at the beginning part where they're going through the trees at first, and you hear it.
Yep.
And is there any symbolic meaning between that shadow that's casted on that tree, or is that just a lighting thing and it caught a shadow that ends up being reflected? I would assume as being if you were the director and how stylized this is, that shadow means something that's projected on that tree. You know what I'm talking about?
I never knew what it. Yeah, okay. Because that's when it says witch, right? It's like the car turning the corner.
Yeah,
and then she's there and it goes witch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like how the witches travel, like this sort of like astral projection that they do.
I just thought it was the headlight.
It is the headlights through the trees, but it's symbolic of, I guess, the way they travel, because you see them all the time, and then at the end, of course, with Marcos, the way she appears, it's almost like an astral projection when the light hits and she gets,
But I'm even more specifically stating it. This is a pan shot. The car's in the background. So in the background, the foreground's the trees. So it's
driving through, and it's hitting the headlights are hitting the trees and stuff.
No, but the car is going like on a vertical or horizontal plane.
Yeah,
horizontal plane behind. So the lights are not at us or on the tree. This shadow is casted on the tree in the foreground, right in front of the camera. So I just didn't know if it was a shadow casted because of the lightning effect that they used that just casted a shadow on it. But again, I would assume since you could control the shot that is supposed to be symbolic of something. Again, it could be symbolic of exactly of what Brandon's saying. I just wanted to make sure I sort of over-explained what I was talking about because it can't be the headlight of the car there. The headlight of the car does
nice looking shot to take us to the actual scene where something happens.
Now I gotta watch that again because I never
it's
thought
right in the
about
foreground. It's right in the middle of the shot, right when it happens in that scene, and then of course they get to the school and the headlights hit, and then there's the next witch shout out.
I'm so focused on the anxiety of the first 14 minutes of the film when I watch this that I guess I don't think and I love what's happening with the soundtrack at the time with the with the drums doing the thing that they do and seeing her run and all that maybe I don't pay attention to that in the lighting on the trees. I just know that she's running in this forest and it's scary and it's all anxiety.
You know what's really funny? It is anxiety, and I always those drums are like they're actually annoying. And I was watching the documentary last night, and even all the members of Goblin were talking about like how that's like intentionally annoying and jarring for the audience. And because I mean, the main theme is always anytime I hear the main theme, obviously, there's like a witch around and stuff like that, and that's really. I mean, that's the soundtrack to me. I mean, all the other sound design and everything in music, I do like, especially, the chanting type stuff that it gets into. But, I mean, the main theme, anytime it comes on, it gives you chills and stuff. But, I mean, I'm like, really drawn into, like, that opening shot, the POV of her leaving the airport and the sound of the doors opening.
The colors in the fucking airport?
The colors, literally the whole movie is just like a display of just amazing colors. It really is. It's just
right from the get go. Like I mean, like you said,
there's a lizard in this.
The get go, they
It's been a while.
The colors and it's been a while that we've done that too. And then that leads into the scene. And again, the more I just want to reiterate because when I was trying to find an image for you guys, but it does look. I'm trying to explain it. It kind of does look like a hooky thing. And it's funny because that image of the hooky thing is part of the sort of the painting or the drawing that's on one of the doors when she enters the room, one of the rooms later. So it's a motif that they must be carrying through. There's got to be a reason. Well, there is a reason for it because, like I said, it's in the center of the frame. It wouldn't be in the center of the frame unless Dario Argento wanted it in the center of the frame. So it's definitely
what shot? No.
In that same shot I was talking about earlier.
The hooky thing.
The thing that I can't believe you guys can't see this. It's in that scene where I just told you about with the car going by, and I said it casts a shadow. That shadow is of a hook-y thing. That's what I'm saying. So there's got to be a reason for it. I said it's a motif that he must be carrying throughout the movie because later in the movie, she enters a room where there's like a painting on the wall, and one of the paintings that goes towards her looks like the hook, the same shadow that's casted.
God damn, wow. I don't know this. Even Dave, I don't feel bad because Dave, who's fucking the Suspiria expert, doesn't know this.
Maybe he
was a big
the documentary.
Maybe he was
and I haven't
Police
either.
Academy fan, and he liked hooks.
No, I'm trying to get the shot that I'm talking about in the woods, which I could get if I just.
Yeah, I want to see it because this was the first time that I saw. I mean, because I'd seen the documentary, but. In the first kill, Pat's kill, which first of all, I'll just say, I thought it was a little funny that Susie arrives at the school as Pat's, we find out that she's talking to Sarah, but as she's saying her thing, and then she runs into the woods to run to her friend's house. Why didn't she just run into the cab that was right there? I would have stolen Susie's cab. I would be like, get me the fuck out of here. She's like, nope, I'm just going to go into the woods and take a shortcut there. But this was the first time I noticed with her kill, the blood pattern on the floor, leaves the witch in the blood. The witch on the broomstick in the blood.
Are you fucking serious?
Yep, that I could show, I think.
You know how many times I've watched it? And I've said this, it's my favorite kill in all of horror, is the intro. The first 14 minutes of this movie, like I said, it's all about anxiety, and it's brilliant. So the only other movie that compares to having as great a beginning is Halloween. Matter of fact, this movie and Halloween, they both have in my opinion, the best starts to horror movies, and their soundtrack means so much to the movie that if you were to watch the movie without the soundtrack, it's a different movie. And it's just, I want to know if Goblin watched this movie and then scored it, or they scored it first and then Argento followed their lead, or how the hell this movie was constructed, because there's shots where the music is so perfect that it's 100% intentional.
They scored it first, and then after they saw the movie, they went back and changed everything.
Really?
Yes.
See, I should have looked at the documentary. You know what? As much as I love this movie, I've never read the IMDb things. I've never got into the trivia. I've never sat down and watched any of the documentary, even on the new one. Maybe I should have.
No, it's good. It's Simonetti who's the one who's doing all the voices, doing the witch. That's Simonetti doing it. Man, why can't I?
They rescored it. It makes sense because there's all those tracking shots, and the music that accompanies them is perfect. It's like dong da dong da dong da dong da dong. It's like gaining momentum going down the hall as the camera scrolls and pans. And just everything they do, and like when they show the maggots, that first scene when they come out, and the music they put in, it's like
it's perfect. Raining maggots.
Oh man,
hallelujah!
It's hideous. That freaking scene, everything about it. And then when she's walking on them and you hear the crunching of the fucking her walking on the maggots, it's just fucking gives me the willies. It's fucking sick. But again, the first 14 minutes of this film, fucking anxiety inducing. I can't imagine. Just sitting there watching it, I don't think there's another movie like it. That's why you can say anything you want. If anybody says this is anything less than a cinematic masterpiece, I just fucking shake my head. I don't get it because other movies have tried to do this. There is no movie exactly like this with the colors, with the soundtrack, with the way it was made. And I've said this phrase before, but to me, the style is the substance. That's the focus of this film. Let's do something beautiful. And then on top of it, let's make it beautiful in one way and grotesque in another. There is not another movie like it. Inferno kind of has callbacks to it and does some things with colors and other things. I've talked about watching that Bava film recently where you see it. Other movies have done it, but nobody's done it start to finish the way this movie has. And obviously, there's got to be a reason for it. No, I don't think anybody can do it. I think it's like it was a moment in time where only this movie could be made, and no one's been able to replicate it since.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that. And I like the style being the substance thing. And look, the story is enough there. I just wonder, like, why some of the characters. I mean, I know it's an hour and a half film, so it is long enough. But it seems like even though I know what you're gonna say, because it's a lot of scenes of Susie exploring the place, and there's such amazing shots. But maybe a little bit more, like Olga was dismissed so quickly. Mark. Was sort of like never developed. Albert, the little boy, you're like, oh, something's going to happen with him. Like, and it's just, and that this is stuff you get more in the remake, you get more character development and stuff. But I'm still not complaining because even though it's just so quick, Olga is stunning, by the way.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And what's interesting? Another thing I learned from watching the documentary, because I thought the scene was kind of silly when she's talking to Sarah and Susie and says,
I love it. You know why? Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, I was going to say, when she does that whole scene where she's like, all people's names would start with S's, they're snakes, and they're going, snakes, and they go, and she goes, Is Argento originally wanted this film to be 8 and 10-year-old girls?
Yeah, that I knew.
I did not know that, and man, that would have been fucked.
I know.
I just sent you guys the thing. Sorry, while we're talking. Sorry, I had to feverishly look for it. It will come up on our thing. It'll be a message. The downfall is the play button is paused for the damn player I was taking the still with. It's a hand with a hook, which is funny because which is funny because it looks like in the remake they use that kind of sickly like weapon a lot more so, funny enough.
Or if you could see the bottom of the tree, it just could be an S for Suspiria. Could it? Or no? It's definitely a hook.
It's there. It's too predominant not to be anything. So it's just,
could it be the S?
It could be. It's for Mother Suspiria. Like maybe it's one of those. I don't even know if it's an Easter egg because it's not so hidden, but it's hidden enough that, again, you guys didn't seem to mention it. And I noticed it, like, I watched this twice, just like I think you did, Brandon, for this show. And both times I'm like, wow, like it was just because the tree's right in the middle of the screen when that lightning strike happens. And you see that shot there.
That's a big thing, too, that I totally missed. But yeah.
I think I've seen it, but didn't acknowledge it. When I see that shot, I'm like, okay, I just didn't think of it. Wow, maybe it's the witch chasing her. But then again, you said it comes up on a painting later.
Well, it's just the same sort of shape. Like any good director, there's like a motif that they carry through, and in which case it's like a mural or a painting that's on the wall. And when she enters the door, there's like an Essie type shape that looks kind of like it could be a hook or something that points towards her. She's coming through the door. There's no emphasis put on it. It's just part of the painting in the back.
Well, I would go with my theory then and say it's a symbol for Mata Suspiria.
Yeah, and that could easily, and I could buy that. That's fine. It's just one of those things, one of those added little pleasures of a movie when you go back, and why a movie is great when you revisit upon revisiting, that you could pull something out of it after seeing it how many times, Dave?
No,
do you think you've seen it?
30 or more.
So did you bring up the movie to do that?
For me?
To take that picture.
Yeah, I brought up my digital file, but the player I had to use on my other computer because I didn't want to screw up my.
Well, if you could do it again, the scene where Pat's killed, the one who the beautiful kill at the beginning, when she falls through and she's dead, the blood spatter on the floor that you see dripping shows a witch with like a witch's hat and like a broom. And I was like, I never knew that until I saw the documentary. I'm like, holy fuck!
Admittedly, I didn't catch that, and I didn't see the documentary, but I didn't catch that. But what I'll do is I'll try to get that.
I caused it after seeing this.
What I'll do is I'll do it for a visual, because then I'll be wasting more time there. I'll do it as a visual to put on the video part here as well. So blood dripping.
Cool.
Wow, isn't that something? I would say that it's the witch chasing her, because obviously whatever she's being chased by transcends gravity and whatever else. They just do whatever they want when they want to do it, which some people might have a problem. Well, how is that possible? Well, it's a supernatural movie. How is it possible? Anything's possible in both of these movies. You're dealing with these witches that have powers. It's simple as that. They can do what they want. They want to fly, they fly. I don't know. They want to put a bunch of barbed wire in a room, they do it. They just want to kill you in inventive ways. So
I would always look down before jumping down, though. But it's
dark.
I know it is dark.
That's what I say. We're seeing it from the vantage point of the viewer. I always took it as it's dark. She can't see what she's doing. You know what I mean? Because why would she even attempt to make that? It's hard to make that jump as is. So that's what I took it as.
It makes sense anyway because the witch is toying with her. You notice, I'm like, it could open that door at any time with that little knife through there. It's like pushing it up and it's like stopping because it wants her to climb through.
If you want 100% payoff with because that scene. Again, you could argue it is a little crazy, but it works with how the movie's presented to you in this sort of nightmarish world that we're seeing. Because you're right, narrative, from a straight narrative, there would be no room of barbed wire, but they can create that. I have no problem with that aspect. The narrative is bizarre. I jokingly said to Brandon right before the show that you get really nothing. You get nothing. And then they barf out all this exposition kind of at the hour and 5 minute mark. And I jokingly say barf. I'm not saying that to be derogatory towards the film, even though it sounds like I am. It's just that they cram it in to give a little bit more meat on the bone at that point, I think, to carry you through to the end. But even the end, all the stuff that they do in the remake, that was to build upon the vision, and that's why it gets Dave the joke about if you're going to remake it. And they add all these other layers and substance to her character and everything else. They don't have that here. Literally, she's going to this school and she falls victim to this, and she sort of slays the demon, leaves, and we end. It's
you know what though? This is a case where watching the remake actually helps me appreciate the original more, because I never thought to myself, I thought, oh, this is lazy. Why is Susie so susceptible to what's going on there? Why is she passing out and feeling weak and bleeding? And then I'm saying to myself, maybe she just has a stronger connection. I'm not saying she's a mother, obviously she's not, because of where they go in this film, but I'm just saying, okay, maybe she just is more susceptible to them, like in the remake. So that just helped me just kind of forgive the fact that they're sort of just all of a sudden making Susie so susceptible to everything that's going on here. She sees the mother, she sees Albert, she becomes weak. It's like she knows something's going on when all these other girls have been there for years, and they're just it's strange here, but we'd have no clue.
Yeah, but she gets the flash in that scene. I love that shot too, when you get that flash and it goes witch, and they're sitting there, and she gets that flash in her eyes from that lady cleaning that thing when she's sitting there with Albert, and you see all the dust particles in the air.
The dust,
That scene That shot is fucking incredible. There's little touches like that. I love them. But I always took that as the thing that kind of like messed with her like equilibrium a little bit. It was a flash in her eyes, and jet lag and everything else, and coming from a different freaking time zone. See that I never questioned. But then as the movie progresses, we see that this Vertigas, this doctor comes in. And I just think that they're doping her up. They're putting something in that wine. They're doing some other stuff. And I think that, and I'll meet you on that, though, B, because I was thinking this time watching, and I'm like, do you think that they were trying to mold her to be part of them? Because when Tanner comes over to him and she goes, I had no idea you were so strong-willed. My compliments. When she, I was thinking, like, is she seeing that in her and saying, this girl, she's stronger than the other one. She just stood up to freaking Madame Blanc, which nobody ever.
Yeah.
Maybe I see something in her. I don't know. For the first time, I had that thought because of the remake. So I do see what you're saying.
But because of the remake, but what are they doing there? What was the end goal here? It is never. They don't even go in that territory, which is what people can have problems with. But I don't because of the way the movie's presented with me, my history with it. As I mentioned when we did the remake, I haven't seen this movie that many times. Now that I just watched it twice, I think maybe it's now 8, which 8 could be a lot comparatively for, people that are not really into film as much. But for a fan of a movie, we know that is not really all that much. Some people.
I don't think I've seen it 8 times. I think I've maybe seen it 4 or 5 times.
That's okay. In a way, this movie kind of should be reserved for special viewings.
Yeah.
I get that. Like, I'm probably going to watch it, I don't know. It's probably a movie I'll watch once a year forever. I can't help that. But also,
I can't help it. It's a bad thing. No, but I think to go back to where you guys were talking about her, how she's been weak and whatever, I think they do a good enough job with that. Dave's explanation's there, but then we also see the end play where she actually makes it through that door as she figures out the puzzle and then goes through the door and sees that they're physically doing stuff in that room that has a physical effect on her. She physically sees. She literally sees that
at that point, they're trying to eliminate her because she's so strong-willed and she's gotten further than anyone else ever has. I mean, Pat, everyone else seems to get scared off, whereas that's what they're saying. I think when they say she's so strong-willed, is that she'll stand up and she'll dive deeper. They have to get rid of this American because she's close to finding out the truth.
But then. Okay. So they feast, or they've killed the one girl that found out and she ran out, and that's where we entered the story. But
such a great kill.
Yeah,
that might be. I mean, I don't know. We did top kills, did we?
It was my number one.
I don't know if I had it or where I had it. I still think Quint from Jaws is my number one, but this is right up there.
Everything about it.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, I mean, it's just been so long since I've seen it, but fucking amazing. I love the friend too. I love how she at first Pat gets scared by the wind, and she's like, "Calm down, sweetie." And then 2 seconds later, she freaks out again, and the friend isn't even in the room and starts yelling, "Murderer, murderer!"
Immediately goes to murder.
Yeah, from You're on Edge.
Isn't that like all like after she hears her screaming and the windows have been shattered?
Yes, she does.
All that,
she does. But she went from "Calm down, you're on edge, sweetie. Tell me what's going on," to "Murder."
Yeah, it is.
But aren't they on the 3rd floor? Like that part is weird to me. So is there a mezzanine or whatever, mezzanine, like a gated, I don't know what I would say, a gated area outside the window that the guy's able to, because he breaks through the window. But then where is she? She ends up in some altered universe area.
Witch pulls her outside onto the balcony and then drops her through the window. Drops her through the ceiling.
Okay, but that's it but she's chased after they break through the windows for the bit. She's chased down this weird little corridor where that's why I said mezzanine, because it's
you're right
with the gated area. So it was just
with the gate. Yeah.
But it might be a roof type mezzanine rooftop thing with a glass plate in the middle and stuff. Because
I've never questioned it.
It's almost like The Shining, where you don't question certain things that don't make sense. It's almost beautiful in the fact that it doesn't make sense at times. You go in through so many corridors and hallways. Inferno does that too. There's so many how the fuck is that there? And it's like,
Inferno doesn't have the bombastic type soundtrack, and like that's what I'm saying. I'm not distracted. I'm just too focused on the blue in that scene and her going down it, and the soundtrack and what's happening to ever take that logical thing in my brain and say, well, how come she's here now? Isn't that weird? That's the way my mind works sometimes. If I'm so wrapped up in the visual and the audio, sometimes it just you know what I mean? It's weird. It takes multiple views, and last night I was like, I didn't think of how did she get there. I thought, where is she? Just for like a second, but then I'm excited. And again, it's the fucking anxiety of those 14 minutes and everything that's going. I'm excited because I know what's coming up. I'm like, okay, now here comes the heart. Now we're gonna see that. Now we're gonna see the head basher. Now we're gonna see the scream, and then we're gonna see the double kill and the fucking.
The murders are very like extra grisly, the screaming and the sounds and the length of time that these people, it's not quick murder, which I think is exactly why this is effective and probably why it took so long to get a release. Remember how long it took to get to North America? And then I think it was I don't even know if it came in, it was an R-rated version, I believe. And I think it was, maybe I'm wrong with this, but I thought it was 88, 89, unless you got a bootleg, a boot. Maybe you got a boot.
We got a boot.
But no, I remember taking a long time. Boot? Yeah, it was a kinky boot. It was red and green and everything. So but where I'm going with it is like, as I'm watching it, my wife goes, nothing like the sounds of murder and death in the morning. Because I was rewatching it this morning again, and she comes down and it's just like Sunday morning. Like I got up early because I wanted to watch it again, and she ended up finishing it with me. And she thought. She obviously didn't really know what was going on. I kind of gave her a quick explanation. But it's funny because there's so much time spent with the dancing in the remake. And this one, again, everything's in the background. Everything just sort of happens so lucidly. And it works so well here.
She's there for 5 minutes. She dances for 30 seconds, passes out, and then never dances again.
Yeah. It seems to work. And I'm not saying Inferno doesn't work. But Inferno tries to follow this, but is a lot messier in that realm. But this seems to work and has possibly one of the most terrifying, because I don't know if a lot of people say Suspiria is scary. I don't know if they do. Maybe they did back in the day, but I don't know if they do now. But there's two shots: the shot where she finds her friend and how she looks, where she looks down and it pans down, and the shot of her friend coming back with the knife and coming through the door, absolutely terrifying.
So
terrifying imagery.
So Evil Dead. Evil Dead before Evil Dead.
Yeah. Yes. I agree. Terrifying with heels in her eyes, her mouth open, and dude, yeah.
That is the stuff of nightmares, and they encapsulate that, and that. I don't think a lot of people, maybe I'm wrong, I don't think a lot of people talk about how creepy this is. They talk about the double death, they talk about the deaths, but not how scary. And it pretty much summarizes the scare factor there, because that imagery is terrifying.
Yeah, very much. And then when she stabs the witch and the way she looks, you know what it reminds me of? It's 100% what Fulci started doing when he did the history movies in 80, the Gates of Hell trilogy. It's very Fulci, like the way she looks and the way the witch looks after she gets stabbed, like that type of makeup effects.
She was eating breakfast. She's like, I can't watch this. And I get it's like it goes right through her neck. It's like a pincushion. Yeah, it's great.
It's definitely Fulci, and I definitely think Evil Dead was inspired by this.
Oh, sure. Yeah, now, this is the VHS. Sure. This came out in 1988. I've told the story before, how my friend Scott, who used to always rent them, it was advertised in the back of Fangoria, and it was advertised as a letterboxd edition, and we split our money, and we ordered it, and it was 1988, and this was the one right here, see?
Yeah, I remember that national video. It was in the cult section. Yeah, I rented it. I didn't buy it.
See Suspiria was fucking by ordering that and have it wasn't at Video Factory where we rented. It wasn't there. We saw it advertised in the back of Fangoria, and I had this. Obviously, the advertisement worked. We're like, oh my god, what is this movie they're talking about? It was the first Argento movie I saw, and I was hooked right then and there. But the funny thing is, it wasn't even about the colors and the cinematography and the soundtrack back then. it was the kills. It was just, wow, look at these fucking kills and how exaggerated they are and everything else. And
well, they're orchestrated. Like
Yeah.
before, it was just like typically it was like we've talked about the
Slashers.
Omen and how that decapitation happened, and there's certain great examples before this, but Argento has a way of mastering his kills to make them very cinematic and satisfying. And
they build for so long.
And I think he even said, I agree, Brennan. I think and to add to that, I think he even said, I find it beautiful. Like the brutality has to be presented beautifully, almost. And I agree with that. That's why that one stands out, and why Opera to me stands out with the keyhole shot and whatever. Not so gory, but just so beautifully constructed.
Even Daniel's kill, the pianist in the square. It's just it lingers for so long, and it's such a great skill. And the dog, and I think he runs off to join Gordon.
What is with Argento having
when he runs off?
When the cops chase him, the dog's like, "Oh, feet don't fail me now."
and the one guy still chases him. There's two guys.
One cop stops with the body, and one continues after the dog.
I'm out of here. He's
Dog should have attacked them too.
He loves having blind people or some sort of, I was gonna say handicap. I guess physical or something. I don't even know anymore. Who fucking knows what I can say and what we can't say? But ultimately, some sort of ailment, something. Blind, demons, Inferno, Mr. Hopalong.
I'm blind, not deaf.
Yeah.
not deaf, huh? Yeah, I love.
What about when she comes up? Stop! His reaction is what Dave would refer to as accidental comedy or whatever. Where she comes up, she's like, stop! He's like, oh. Like where's the voice coming from? He's like, just right beside him. I lose my mind every time.
What? It is great. And how about when she's accusing him of all that stuff, and he goes, "Stop it!" You know, you know what that's from? That's at the end of a song. See,
Halloween 3. Stop it!
It's not that, but it's a sample of that "Stop It," and it's at the end of a fucking song. And I don't know if you're familiar with them, but it's Ministry. There's Psalm 69 at the end of it. Stop it! And that's how the song ends. It's that guy yelling, "Stop it!" It's fucking great.
That's hilarious. I had that album.
Yeah, great stuff. Yeah, dude.
Sarah's killed the slit throat. That's the first. There's no blood. You don't see any blood come from it, but you see the flesh tear, which is amazing. Yep. I think that might be one of the best slit throats that doesn't have blood, because you actually see like the.
I was going to see if I could do the CD thing again and just pull out the Ministry one with one like we did with Rage Against the Machine last time. It didn't work.
Damn,
I said, wouldn't that be cool
I
if
would
I
have
just
told you to save your time, even if it worked. It wouldn't have been.
And how about that? Psalm 69 goes back to something we talked about last show. That album, the opening track, New World Order, NWO.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It could have come up.
New World Order.
This week. Yeah, a New World Order. Yep.
Let me ask you a question here. When Sarah disappears, and Susie, obviously her father, he's like some big diplomat or something. He's always traveling. Is that why her contact is this Frank Mandel, the psychiatrist? Is that how she finds him? Like, that's like, how did she find him?
She finds him through Sarah. Sarah tells her that I'm going to hook you up with talk to my buddy. Remember?
But when they're in the bed. When they're in the bed together.
It was before the meeting was already set.
Oh, what was it for?
I don't remember. All I know is that
because she was just on edge, maybe.
Because remember, she said that she had notes and she was gonna give them to her, and Pat gave her the notes. Yeah. So that's how that came up, and she was supposed to meet with him, but she goes missing. So she.
But why did she go missing? So that's my question: is why the Sarah part, other than to add another
she goes
great
exploring.
Yeah, she figures out the footsteps. Around. She figures out the footsteps. They go this way when they should go that way if they're leaving. She hears.
So she's the one that writes. Is she the one that gives the notes at the steps? Or is that okay?
That's her, and she hears what's her name? She hears Marcos She hears the directress is there. They tell her the directress is like not even in the
for
country.
the snoring. Yeah, but she remembers.
Snoring.
She hears the snoring. Sorry, I needed to be refocused.
The makeshift dorm in the is really cool with the shadows and the lighting in there with the reds.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
You know what that inspired? That
Revenge of the Nerds.
Yes, it's the Revenge of the Nerds scene.
I wrote it down right here. I said, "This is fucking nerds."
I want to get it combined. I want that shot set up, but instead of having them two talking, have the colors and stuff, but then cut to that conversation where Lewis goes over to Gilbert and says, "Lewis, I'm sorry I snapped at you earlier today. Let's go to bed." Someone could do it. I think it would be great. And then behind there, after they go to bed, focus in on the snoring and the fucking red light, and have Nerds in Suspiria. Revenge of the Nerds 4. Nerds in Suspiria.
You should do that. Just put a red filter on them.
Yeah, and then you can have, what do you call it? Then you can put the red filter on and have the basketball go into the chili and then go against the fucking white things like it does.
You're going to eat that?
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, it's definitely Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, I was confused about that, about how she met up with him, but okay.
And I hope I'm not wrong.
No, you probably aren't. It doesn't matter because even if there was nothing said, once Sarah disappeared, she was trying to find out where she was, so she would have contacted somebody, and maybe he was a contact because he was her patient, and the father's always away, so maybe even worst case scenario, like that's it, and then she meets with him, and he turns her onto the professor friend Milius, who gives the whole exposition about the witches, the coven, the snake.
Yeah. And that's all you need. In my opinion, that's the only exposition you need is what's said there. You learn about the three mothers. All you need to know is that these people are witches. It used to be a school of occult and fucking dance. Then eventually they claim that the occult part was banned, the occult, excuse me, and it goes just to a ballet academy or a dance academy. That's all you need to know. These people are witches. He explains everything you need to know about these type of witches. They're money hungry. They just want this and they had the other thing, and here they are. And there you go. This is Imelda Marcos, and this is what happens.
Yeah.
No, I don't disagree. I just think it's funny from again, it adds to the unique structure of the film because of the way it's presented and told, that you really just get that 5-minute chunk at about the hour and 5 mark, and that's fine. And I'm okay with it. I'm just saying it's just, I think the remake took that and then built that whole opening to it to kind of lead into the story more. And upon retrospect, again, I have to go back to revisit it again. It made me appreciate the remake for what it tried to do differently to add to the already
two different great films, in my opinion.
That's what I said.
I know you guys have stood that, and I came down a little harder. I was only at the 6.5 mark for the remake, but I will revisit it again because the simplicity of the structure works in its favor, and now I kind of respect the fact that the remake decided to build upon it in some really cool ways, actually. So. But tying in with the times and tying in a lot more character development.
77.
Yeah, and of course, just adding the
Germany.
Yeah, Germany and the what's his name? The character that she plays, the psychiatrist.
Hans. That's not
Hans Booby.
But
Dr.
I can't remember.
Dr. Mixture. I don't know.
Dr. Mixture.
Dr. Oshua.
Yeah.
I mean, truth be told, this is a solid mild rumble. I mean,
no.
I'm at full body convulsions.
So you want to kill Elena Marcos? There must be the American girl.
Have you watched the movie in Italian with the subtitles? The witch's voice at the end is almost creepier. Although my wife did say it sounded like a mob boss witch. What's her description?
That was a hooker.
Really? That was like a lot of smoking?
It was like an 80 or a 90-year-old freaking hooker that Argento found.
It was TJ.
TJ. And that's what that hook was actually resembling.
Yeah.
A hooker.
This witch is nothing but a bitch.
I don't think I've seen it in the Italian dub. I don't even know if I got to have it on one of these. I have the DVD, the blue, the 4K. It's got to be somewhere. Huh.
He's got the CED, the CBD, the THC.
I'm so used to the voiceover though. It's part of the charm of the movie. I can't imagine another. Oh boy, that's weird. Where do you have it? It's on your DVD.
No, it might be. I haven't revisited it. It's the version that I have digitally. It's Italian.
Wow.
Me? I was looking for my phone.
Oh, okay. You're like all over the place.
Sweet.
I'll say this with Marcos's reveal and everything. That whole scene is fantastic. I just wish I know she's old and decrepit, but she's so powerful that, like, I don't know. It's like once the lightning strikes, she sees her in bed. I just wish it was just a little bit more like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It was like so easy. Right? That
was my, for years, that was my one complaint about the movie.
It's not bad. I don't think I would. Yeah.
Not anymore. Now I've come to love it and not care.
I don't really care. I'm not really complaining about it, but it still seems like she's so powerful, she's invisible. Then the light strikes and you see like her fucking outline. Like it's
you know what it is to me. This movie is supposed to be an adult fairy tale, if you will. Everything about it is fairy tale like. And the end of the movie, that's the way a fairy tale thing would end, like a Grimm's fairy tale, something like that. You learn about the mystery, the three Irish here. You go in a secret doorway, this, that, the other thing. These people are trying to cast a spell on you. You look, oh, the light struck it right. I can see this like in the written word even. You know what I mean? Struck the light just right to see the outline of her. Oh, here's your chance, Alice. You know what I mean? Fucking stab. It's very fairy tale like that.
Yeah. What about a Grimsby fairy tale?
Yeah. That's all he wanted to do is get that joke at that whole time. And I agree, Dave. That's exactly it. And I love how these movies just end. She walks out, the thing's in flames, done, the end, credits roll.
They should have shown everybody coming back from the bowl show and been like, what the fuck did you do, Susie?
Yeah.
Where are we going to dance tomorrow? We're going to dance at Christian's house.
Yeah.
You have been watching Suspiria.
Yeah, you have been watching Suspiria. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
I forgot.
That's a question of mine. Why wasn't she invited to go out dancing? To go, oh, Miss Tanner obtained tickets for everybody. Remember that lady told that? How come she didn't get tickets?
Because they were planning to get rid of her.
So they were just going to let her stay home in her room?
And kill her.
And whack her? Okay.
Yeah.
They did it behihand her back. And obviously, what's his name does speak English, even though Miss Tanner fucked with him and says,
Pablos?
"Oh, isn't he ugly?" Yeah, and then he gets because at the end of the movie, he's taking the English direction, and they're talking to him, and then you see him die, poor bastard, fucking with his eyes rolling, all bleed, poor bastard. Well, he was a thief.
He really likes that lighter, right?
Yes, yeah.
Watch him. He likes that lighter. He does. He's going to use it to find you later. Anyway,
Indeed.
Again, this movie is it's funny because, like you said, they give you enough substance. It's a lot of style, but a lot of fantastic style. Like, this is where you get the colors that everybody talks about when they're trying to copy giallo movies nowadays. It comes really from this movie, and so ultimately, I don't think it's a big surprise. I've gone slightly up and down a little bit, but I'll give it a 10 out of 10 today. I've been at 9.5 range, but I'm like, just because I wanted something more at the end or something, like, what I'm going to base it on what my experience was this time, watching it 2 times in a row. 10 out of 10.
Nice. Wow. Well, I'm going to, before, you guys know where I'm going to go, but I want to go, I want to mention some with my notes, the things that I thought were funny, some praise I want to give. Do you realize in the beginning when he says, "Where are you going?" when he gets picked up in the cab, which, I can't fucking put that scene over enough. The first fucking, anyway, when he goes, "Where are you going?" and she says, "Escherstrasse" and all that. You know what that's all about? That's the one thing I know, is that he is a fan of the artist M.C. Escher, and that's what this movie was trying to do with some of the designs and things like that, and the corridors, the hidden court, and the puzzles and all that. It was a nod to fucking Escher. That's why it was called
Any
Escher
relation to MC Hammer?
MC Hammer Strasse. Yes. What the hell? Oh yeah, the 14 minutes, Pat's thing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he does speak English. I said that. Here's what. Okay. How come she says? Why doesn't she? Why the fuck does Olga throw her out? And first of all,
I never understood that.
Olga's apartment is fucking amazing. We're introduced to her and her.
Olga doesn't throw her out. That's why she's so confused. She's like, well, I could have gone over. They used her getting sick, so they concocted her getting lightheaded. That's what I'm saying. They're already doing things. They made her get lightheaded and sick there, so they could put her in the room that they had ready for her. And then they got the shit back from Olga's apartment and brought it back for her. That's why she's so confused. But I could have gone and that's how I read it. They just never had another scene with her and Olga talking to say they probably could have had one going, well, I would have come back and whatever. And they just never went to revisit that. But I took it like they made her lightheaded and fall victim there to get her into the room that they had ready because they were pissed off that she wanted to. She leaves pissed off when she says, we've got your room ready. She's like, oh, I want to stay with Olga. And that's what leads into them doing what they need to do. And then they just order the shit
for
back.
her standing up to Blanc.
Okay.
So
wow, I'm glad I mentioned that because I never knew unless maybe it was COVID or something. She's like, well, he's sick, get the fuck out. You know what I mean? I was thinking, holy shit, what's up with that? Wow.
She doesn't talk to Olga about it, but she does talk to her friends saying, oh, I guess she thought I was contagious or it was contagious. So that's how they sort of explain it. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I do love her apartment. All the fucking whites and the blacks and her wallpaper on the wall. It's fucking the set pieces of this movie are fucking astounding.
She comes from a rich family, but even in the Inferno, it's like, have you ever seen music students and fucking and just young people with such gorgeous apartments, even in Inferno? It's like, are you kidding me? These are like multi-million-dollar apartments, and they're like, I'm a music student at the university. Yeah. Like, get the fuck out of here.
That's why you watch movies.
They're so awesome.
It's like being a candy tester in Canada. You live in a fucking $10 million apartment.
What do you do for I eat Sour Patch Kids?
Nice. But that's what it is. It's all about him building these fucking beautiful sets. There doesn't even have to be logic to that. It's like, look at this. Even the way they make Olga look, they do her hair almost like Princess Leia style in that fucking scene. And I love her wallpaper. I wish I could find that fucking wallpaper. I think it's awesome. I love all that stuff. You know,
it's the Olga series on the Martha Stewart page.
Oh shit. What else do I have?
That's where the inspiration for Shrek came from. Because Shrek's he's a green Olga.
A green Olga.
I've got to move to my next location soon, so very soon.
I hope your next location is retirement.
Oh yeah.
How about when Blanc says?
I love being made fun of by a guy with hair like that. Look at Dr. Orlick. What the hell's he doing?
How about when Madame Blanc is talking to her and she's giving her the discussion about secrets and irises, and her words are, I don't know what the words secret and irises mean either. Like she never heard of those words before. Secret, like she's learning a new language.
I know what you mean, but she just means in the context of what
I know.
Yeah.
It's just the way it's delivered. That's what she says. I don't know what the words secret and irises mean either. It always makes me laugh. I don't know. And there's that scene I never know. Well, I noticed it, but that laughter that's on the other side of the door in the green scene when what's her name is when Susie's sick and Sarah's fucking trying to get her out of bed. You pick up on that laughter on the other side of the door. It's fucking terrifying, man. Anyway, do we really have to flip spots now?
Well, no. If you want to finish, if it depends on how many notes you have left. Because if we could wrap this up,
just a couple things.
Okay.
Yeah, just a few things I got. Yeah, okay. So, here's a question though. And Sarah's chase and death is fucking incredible. Everything about it from the beginning to end. But here's the question: did Blank not know? Was she doing that for the camera, or did she not know that fucking what's her name took off? Remember they're walking down the stairs and Sarah's gone.
Second watch in a row, same thing, because she's talking to people that would have been in the know if it was the master plan. And I noticed that too. They're talking like, what could have happened? They're not talking to police. They're not talking to anybody else like a student. They're talking to the inner circle that would have all been part of it. So that's literally for us, the viewer, to be a misdirection or thrown off story structure wise. But even though there's really no story to worry about at this point, because we don't know really what's going on. But you're right. It is bizarre because she's walking with people that would have been in the know.
But
she's
Sarah
talking about,
is below. But pardon me.
Yeah.
Susie is below them. They're walking down the stairs, and Susie is in the hallway below the stairs. So did they know she was there, and were they saying that so she would hear that? That's my other idea.
Maybe. I mean, they fill her in a little bit more detail later, and the police are there questioning people at that point, right? That's where, and then because that's where Susie ends up, or Sarah, I'm sorry, ends up saying, "Oh, I saw her leave at 11 o'clock." last night, and she said, so it was 11 p.m. then, and then she says,
yeah, because she hears that conversation.
Yeah,
it's way across the room. Remember, she's about to go up the stairs. They're on the other side of the rooms.
So maybe, but but
I don't know. I love the expression about bad luck. Bad luck is brought on by not brought on by broken mirrors, but by broken minds. It's always been one of my favorite quotes from a movie, and that's all I got. The peacock thing at the end is fucking beautiful. That crystal peacock. It's fucking, and the way that room looks and the colors. And we can just go on and on. It's just it's a masterpiece.
That's where the Katy Perry song, "Let Me See Your Peacock, 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 Peacock." That's where it came from.
She's a Suspiria fan.
It's like, really?
They should have put her on the remake and put her in that scene.
Yeah. Forget Tom York. "Let me see your peacock, peacock."
Peacock.
I love Brandon's reaction. It's like, what the hell are we talking? Like, let's get out of here.
Anyway, 10 out of 10. It's fucking my top 5 movies. So whatever. I think it's amazing. Nothing else touches the people try. They want to say whatever they want to, but the work that must have gone into this movie, I don't even know if fucking Argento was the same person before and after. I think he put so much into it. But 10 out of 10, amazing. Seriously,
I wasn't the work that it takes
to do that.
But I feel bad going 9.5, so I'll go 10.
But I was thinking 9.5 as well.
I was coming in at 9.5, but I'm like, you know what? To half a fucking point, I'll give it a perfect score.
Yeah, it's the experience. I mean, again, it's so much fun.
Honestly, from a visual standpoint, nothing has duplicated this before, and Christian's got to get the fuck out of his room. Someone's standing there. He's got a fucking Manicarino behind him.
Getting wrenched.
Manicarino. I'm getting wrenched. But yes, perfect score. We'll be back in like 2 seconds just so that I can shift.
Okay. So, the Fangoria collection continues. Because I read the article, that Siskel and Ebert article, and I was going to come here and talk about it. But there's so much in it, I'm going to have to highlight it and everything else. Otherwise, I'll read the whole article, which wouldn't be terrible, but I mean, I don't know. But it was informative.
Highlight it, because then that Fangoria will turn into a highlights magazine.
And I don't want to highlight it. I do not want to put a highlighter in my fucking phone.
Back in the highlight again.
But the bottom line is this. Whoa. Check it. This dude, the editor of this magazine, or the so-and-so, it wasn't Tony Timponi. I forgot who it was. But he did go to Siskel's place in Chicago or whatever the hell it was, and had a sit-down conversation with him. And there's all kind of stuff in there, and Ebert's there too. And there is some stuff in there, and it's, again, we don't have time. I could probably highlight certain things and read them out, but as I'm reading, it was really good, and I wanted to revisit it because, again, I don't know about you guys. I knew about later on and how it was discussed in, social media and people put out the videos, and I didn't know that at the time that there was backlash from horror fans to these people when they were doing this, because what else is there? There was no media for them to really be vocal about it except for this. So Fangoria, they put an article in issue number 8 about this, about the things they were saying, and they started getting letters and letters and letters from then on, and it eventually led to this and them having a sit down with them. So I'm going to try to do the whole thing and get into it. So what I did was I It's at episode 8. It's at issue 8 is where it was the first one, and it's too pricey to get them. I've decided that I'm going to get episodes 1 through 100 and then stop, because episode 100,
just like our show.
That's pretty much when it ended for me, because issue 100, we're gonna stop exactly. Issue 100. When the fuck did it come out? I remember like yesterday. It's a gold cover, has Freddie Glove coming out of the zero for the second. Oh, I fucking love that, man. I can't believe
it
I
came out
didn't
10 years after the
one.
original.
What's that?
It came out 10 years after the original. I think it was 1990, all joking aside.
The magazine did?
Yeah, 1990, I believe, was issue 100.
Okay, well, let's see. When the fuck did it come out? I'm trying to get a good picture of it, and I can't. Well, either way, I want it to basically be, because I think it was like 91, which was perfect for me. That was the year I graduated, and that's when horror started going to shit. So it's like, I don't need to read about the horror in the 90s in Fangoria. For me, again, it's like everything. It's all about nostalgia. So, there it is, March 91. That's perfect. Okay. I freaking, I graduated in August 91. So I just might collect 1 through 100, because that was, the 80s is when I was running most of my movies, and everything changed after the 90s. So I think that's what I decided to do. So I was looking at them, and I couldn't find, they're hard to get the first 10 issues at a good price. And I did come across how many fucking times am I going to say it? I did come across issue number 13 for like less than $10, and it was cool. I happened to find it on Etsy, so I ordered it. It's weird, the things you find if you play around and you go to Mercari and you go to eBay and you go to Amazon and you go to Etsy. Some things are high. It's like the stock market. You just got to buy at the right time and see what's up and see what people are offering. But I found a cheap episode fucking issue 13. So I know that the letters are going to be in there. Issue
Sounds
13.
like you have a lot of issues.
Minga, I do. So I'm going to continue to read more about the backlash of that, and then eventually get to this episode. This issue here, 15. How many fucking times?
Dave's having a bad episode right now. He's got to talk to his doctor about all his issues.
Holy cow. And then get to this, and then read the article at the end is what I'll do. So I won't touch so much on any of that.
Put your dick away and get back on camera. What are you doing?
Well, I think it's just my connection, so.
He's having issues of his own, poor guy. So we can still do a little bit for fun. We'll still do a little living dead mail, and see what the hell we have, Oh wow, how about this one? I hope I didn't read this before. But we almost covered this movie, and it got a little more votes. It got more votes than, what do you call it, got? What the hell was that one that C did that got no votes?
Crow's Nest.
Season of the Witch, I think, at least had 7 votes or something.
Hey, at least you both have had a movie that's won.
That's true.
We're going to be talking about Inferno next, Dave. Don't forget that.
Yeah, that was your movie. Inferno, indeed. Yeah, this guy. That started this whole damn thing. Well, anyway. Okay. This is called Romero's Riff Raff, and this is an email. I keep saying episode and fucking email. I can't go back to the 80s and say issue and mail. Holy fuck. It's crazy. Okay. So, I just finished viewing George A. Romero's Season of the Witch, along with Disney's production of Sleeping Beauty. To my surprise, Sleeping Beauty was scarier, had better characters, and was even bloodier. Needless to say, I was disappointed after seeing his Dead movies. Oh no, I was disappointed, period. After seeing his Dead movies, I thought that this Romero flick would have at least some gore. I thought wrong, and what a boring mistake it was. Looks like it's time for another ghoulishly gruesome viewing of blood-sucking freaks. No offense, George. So, this guy complains that there's no gore in Season of the Witch.
Nice to see nothing's changed in, 30 years?
I guess it's all about gore.
Was that Nudie who wrote that 30 years ago?
Nudie, John Bukowski. Nope, he's from Connecticut. Nope.
Oh, okay.
Unless it could be though. But the thing is, seriously,
Could be nudie.
in 1988, when this comes out, I don't know. There was a lot of gore going around, but isn't it odd that someone's gonna complain because Season of the Witch is a psychological movie and not? And I still haven't seen it. That's why I put it on the list. I've never seen Season of the Witch. I have the Blu-ray here too because I got it in that
I
set.
enjoy it a lot. I think I might enjoy it more than most, but on a bloody movie, go watch Bloodsucking Freaks.
Well, yeah, not everything is gore, but at that time, gore was just so prevalent that, I understand. Okay, so here's another one. Wither Fulci. Okay. Whatever happened to the godfather of gore, Lucio Fulci? I found the answer a couple of days ago while browsing in my local video store. Suddenly, I skimmed across a stupid title called Challenge to White Fang. Guess who directed it? I wouldn't have believed it either. Lucio Fulci. What the hell is he doing directing Disney ripoffs? Is he finally getting a soft stomach? I like to see him back to doing his usual gore fest, not low-budget kiddie features that are rated PG. Wow. Yeah, we do know that Fulci went other places. It is kind of odd, though, right? He does have a point.
Has like 100 movies under his belt. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, then go watch New York Ripper for the 10th fucking time. People drive me nuts.
Even people from 1980.
Yeah.
These people sound worse than today's people.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the name of this movie he said he directed?
Something White Fang. The Revenge of White
Fang. Challenge to White Fang. Yeah, a Disney ripoff, he says.
I don't even see it.
Really? I don't know. It really doesn't even come up on the V. Challenge to White Fang.
Oh wait, here it is.
It is odd though. Go ahead. I'm sorry. B.
It's a 1974 movie.
Oh really? So
Yeah.
this was done before he did fucking a lot of his horror movies, right?
Yeah, this is weird. Challenge to White Fang came out in 1975.
It probably didn't come to video until this time, I guess. Because you know how it is. Maybe who is somebody in it special that was big in the 80s?
I don't think so. But how can you complain about a movie he did 4 years before he did Zombie, City of the Living Dead, The Black Cat, The Beyond, House by the Cemetery, New York Ripper?
Right.
This guy all in a row.
He probably didn't know. The thing is, I'm not gonna side with him, but I'm gonna play the devil's advocate and just say that maybe this movie wasn't released on video until this guy saw it sometime in '88 and didn't know.
Franco Nero's in it. Challenge to White Fang. Fuck him, hating on a Franco Nero film.
Challenge to White Fang. I'm gonna type it in. Challenge to White Fang VHS and see what it looks like.
No,
I don't take the challenge.
No, I don't want to buy it. I just want to see. There you go. Rare out of print. It came out in '86. Trans World Entertainment. Okay. So that's
Trans
right.
World. You can't say that.
Yes, before its time.
Yep. Directed by Lucio Fulci.
Trans World Entertainment, directed by Elliot Page.
Oh, stop.
I'm covering my face in shame because I know I shouldn't have made that joke.
Shame. So the cover of it does show. It says an old man's promise, a young boy's hope, a brave dog's courage. So it does kind of seem like a Disney ripoff thing. You know what I mean?
It's his version of White Fang, I think.
I don't even know what White Fang is. So.
It's a Disney.
Oh really? Well, if you want it, $20 plus $2.80 shipping, or best offer on eBay. So it's out of print.
Put in $1 for Christian.
I don't know if there's any mold on there or not, but Speaking of
mine mold
listen to
free.
What happened? I fucking finally settled, and I got the poster for the movie Offerings because I love that cover with the bloody box that the kids holding. Because the VHS was always ridiculously expensive. I couldn't find it at a good price. So these last 9 that I bought are just movies that I could never, get a good price on the VHS. So I'll hang up the 11x17. Wouldn't you know, in the fire sale last night, or not even the fire sale, someone just put it up. There's a $5 freaking Offerings because there's mold on it. If I just would have waited a week, I would have had the VHS of fucking.
You can still have it if you want, but if you have the
But
7,
again,
you don't need it.
that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to be discerning, and I only have like a few spots left. So I'm like, well, if I had that's why I took the one down last night. The what was it? Visiting hours. I'm like, well, I already have the poster up.
Yeah.
I want to make sure there's still a couple of white whales that I call them that I want to get my hands on that I want to post somewhere in this room. But anyway, yeah, White Fang. So that's my guess. It came out. He saw it in '86, and you probably figured this is what he's doing now, not even thinking that it was.
Dumbass. Couldn't even look at the back of the box and see made in 1974.
Hey, it's the '80s. You just see a movie pop up, and you think it's a new movie. It's '88 too. It's not the beginning of VHS. It's 1988. This movie came out, was released in '86 or after, and I don't know. I'll play devil's advocate. He just thought it was a new movie.
I don't like this guy.
What did Fulci do after? When did he stop doing horror? Did he ever come back? Oh no, wasn't his last movie? Didn't he die doing like Black Cat or something? Or am I way the fuck up? Cat in the Brain.
Cat in the Brain was one of his last ones. I had to move again. I was not getting good reception.
What are you in the bathroom now? I think she's in the shower like Jason in that picture.
Yeah, you want to unblur your background there?
He's got a fucking stall in his house. This guy. What, you got 2 floors, a fucking bathroom stall, elevators?
Yeah, elevators. Yeah.
He's in the maid's quarters right now. Good, he froze.
Look at his face.
With a stupid fucking grin on his face.
Damn it.
With a stupid grin on Dave was about to get his camera ready to. Oh, he's gone.
Sucks to be you two.
Oh yeah.
You got it?
Offer accepted. No, offer accepted.
For the mold?
I just paid $4 on eBay for issue 42 of Fangoria. Yes.
Dave's become a crazy. Dave, you and Christian have become crazy collectors. You're collecting like everything now.
Well, the problem with the Fangorias is they want $25 shipping for those. I'm like, get me out of here. It sucks. So like, I get screwed. So what?
Oh, you're talking about any issue shipping. I thought you meant the new ones.
Anything. Everything seems to be $25 shipping or whatever. I'm like, it's a magazine.
Well, come out of your territory once in a while and then join the rest of the world.
Yeah, go F yourself.
Oh, I'm so excited. This is great. Episode 42. I cannot fucking stop. I'm never going to stop.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And guess what's on the cover? Company of Wolves. The VHS. The VHS I bought last night for $10. Company of Wolves is on the cover of the Fangoria.
You can cancel your VHS.
Yeah. No.
Like if I have the 11x17, then I don't need the VHS or the Fangoria.
Yeah. Well, I got them all. Oh, what a life we're living, huh? Man, the 80s all over again. It's great. Okay.
Start collecting something now. You guys are collecting everything.
How about like scissors and fucking barbershops? Like supplies. Maybe some gel.
I'm sorry. Just got something called COVID down here. I know Canada likes to say they're on lockdown, even though they have 3 cases in the whole territory.
The whole territory.
We went on lockdown because a moose coughed.
Here's a funny one.
You can make a joke because he went out last night. There was guys doing hibachi. You don't go to a hibachi grill if there's COVID.
No, I went to pick it up.
I know you
picked
did.
it up and I got the hell out of there.
There's like 15,000 people up hibachiing.
I know, they're stupid.
Don't even get me started. It's a real touchy subject of me and my household right now. With
What, eating out?
No,
Hibachi?
people doing dumb shit and causing fucking COVID for loved ones because they can't fucking stay home.
I know. It's everywhere. It's
I didn't want to bring it up.
No, it is.
No, my fucking father has it. How about that?
Yeah.
82 fucking years old because my dumbass motherfucking sister 2 weeks ago has to go out and watch the Bills game in a bar, putting pictures up like the dumbass ass she is with her and her friends not wearing masks in a bar. And then my father goes to her house the next day. We find out she has COVID, and then we're up his ass because he's not getting tested. And now he gets tested yesterday. My fucking father has COVID. 82 years old because these motherfuckers. See, I'm sorry.
That's not good, man. That sucks.
I'm sorry.
Is he okay? Is he feeling okay?
does feel okay considering he had some things. He's not like down and out yet, but now we're gonna drop off some things at his house, outside his apartment. We're gonna do our best to take care of him, but heaven forbid, this I can't even. I'm sorry. I wasn't.
Sorry, I didn't mean to
today.
bring it up. I
happened
didn't mean.
night.
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry for airing it out. I just because I'm really angry about it, and I just anyway.
My fucking dog. You're my dog.
Yeah. So
drinking
people,
water.
Huh? A dog drinking water.
I guess you can't hear it. Good. My dog's going to town on his water bowl. He's like right behind me. And all I can hear is... The cat drinks water so delicately. This dog drinks water. It's like a mess all over the place.
That the dog from Suspiria?
Yes. The one that ran away. I've been chasing him through the house all morning. Biting through my wife's neck.
Unreal. Okay, I'll read one more letter. Dental dilemma. Not that I am bad rapping the Lost Boys. I hope there's a sequel, he says. It's so funny to see this stuff in retrospect.
You'll get one direct to video in a few decades.
Yeah. And not that I am any expert on vampires, dentistry, or makeup, but it seems to me the vampires have their fangs on the wrong teeth. Fangs are canines and therefore are third from the front, not second. Did Greg Canham deliberately switch them so as to boost a refreshing visual style, or did he just flub it? Wally Tomaszewski from Florida.
Hey, Wally, get a fucking life. Yeah, that's true, though.
Yeah, you put pen to paper for that, Wally.
Is Wally a patron? We should see if we can find Wally and get him on the show. That would be a cool segment if you could find some of these people and get them on the show.
Look them up on Facebook. Do it right now. Wally Tomaszewski. I'll type him in, see if he exists. And if so,
hey Wally, did you write a letter to Fangoria 30 years ago? We want to talk to you about it. Inside scoop with Wally.
Tomaszz. Wally K9.
That'd be the best. I used to get it sold me by Moldy VHS. That's fucking Wallster.
I got a moldy copy of the Lost Boys here. What is this?
Cut box loving Fink.
Cut box. I forgot about cut box. Oh, fucking.
Well, there are two people with that name. Let's
Friend
see.
them both.
Seattle from Lansing, Illinois. No, this guy's from Florida. They
might have moved.
Another one.
Years.
This guy's in California. Yeah, but this is where they're
Into
from.
The grave.
Places he's lived, California. No, I don't think he's around. Damn, we should do that though. We should start looking up these people and see if we can get them to come on and talk about their Fangoria, their comments.
It'd be a funny segment.
What state of mind were you in when you decided to write to a fucking horror magazine?
Fango responded too. They said, "Since when do vampires follow the rules of common medical and dental knowledge?"
Yeah. No, but it's true though. If you think about having your fangs on the second teeth over, it wouldn't be practical for biting.
Didn't Barlow have them on his front too?
What about Peter?
See, Barlow had like the rat thing where it's like the front two teeth.
Peter's 8,000 years old. He will not be attending the house meeting.
No. Well, what about cats? Where are cats' fangs?
Why do we got to talk about cats?
I don't know.
Where are cats' eyes?
We're going to talk about cats in the next movie.
The corner of my mind. I don't even know how that song goes. I always have like one line of a song in my head and I never know the rest. Like, do you hear the people sing? No, because I'm not listening. That was Les Mis.
Hey, don't make fun of Les Mis. Yeah.
Did you say Les Mis? It's from that show? Yeah, or Play, whatever the fuck it is.
I think, I don't know if Liz really wanted this, but I do have one of the songs. She mentioned that she would like to hear one of the songs that I sing when I have to go to the washroom. And I think it is something that goes along, because usually I don't think of it until I'm actually going to the washroom, and then it just pops in my head, and I sing it in my head, because I'm crazy. I realize that I've gone insane. And it's like, I gotta shit my pants from New York to France. Everybody dance, do the shit in your pants prance. I've got to shit my pants from New York to France. Everybody dance. Do the shit the pants prance. Shit my pants from New York to France. Everybody dance. Do the shit the pants prance. That's the song.
Wow.
That's one of the songs I sing. Yeah.
Did you make it up?
I made that. Did I make that up? Yeah. Yes. I did.
Yes.
And there should be like the Humpty dance or something like that. We have to get a dance to go along with it. You put a little funky beat behind that, and I'm telling you, to the top.
I know the dance too. You take your hands like this, and you put them behind your body, and you put them on one on each ass cheek, and you go like this, and you move yourself. I can't do it on the camera, but I could totally see women digging that kind of dance. They put their hands on their booties, and they. I'll have to show another time, but
the shit your pants prance.
Yeah, the shit the pants prance. And then there was, I'm not going to have the voice. Dave would do this justice. I'm not going to be able to do it justice. It's black hole bung, not unsung.
Black hole bung. I couldn't hear the rest. Okay, continue.
Okay, so it's black hole bung, not unsung. I'm in so much pain. Black hole bung, not unsung. Not unsung. Black hole bung. That's what you think.
Black hole bung.
It's block hole bung.
How about black hole bung? Won't you come and take away my pain?
There you go. That would have been a better lyric. That'll be verse 2.
What about asshole son? Asshole son, won't you come and bring me more TP? Asshole son,
I feel bad for my son.
I'm all out thanks to you. Asshole son. You can blame your son for using up all the TP.
There you go.
Because Lord knows that happens to me with the fucking wrench.
Those are 2 examples of the songs that go through my head when I'm shitting my pants.
Look, I'm going to make up some songs now. I never thought to do this. It's fun, though.
And it's fun. It's
Black
fun.
Hole Bung. I'm going to be singing Black Hole Bung a lot.
It was Black Hole, and then I changed it to Block Hole Bung.
Oh, Block Hole Bung.
Yeah.
Even better for why won't you come and take away my pain? Because you're blocked.
Exactly.
Oh, yes, your blockage.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. There's so many variations we could do of the song. Maybe we'll have the B-sides and rarities, or it'll be like some offshoots.
B-sides and rarities. A rock group. That would be awesome.
Anyway, sorry, I don't know where that came from your Fangoria read to me singing while some shit in my pants.
No, that's good. That's okay. It had to come to an end anyway. We had some questions that we were talking about. They're probably going to be answered on some future show. We just put them out there, and maybe like on a special show when we just do questions and BS and have no reviews. So, and there was one I really wanted to answer because it got me so excited when I read it. But I'll answer that one specifically next show because we got to get to.
Well, which one? So that I'll prepare for all.
Yeah,
of
so
them.
we can prepare for it.
Yeah.
Well, it was something that. Okay, well, hold on. Now I have to go and look.
He was so excited he doesn't remember what it is.
No, I can't put I can't say the words. Speaking of look what I found. A VHS find in the wild on Etsy. Look at this, guys.
What is that? I need it over.
Put it in front of the camera. Yeah.
There. Oh, Ghost.
Hey, Ghost Dad.
Yes. Ghost Dad, $275. I almost got it. Oh, shit.
You should put that on your horror shelf.
Right? Ghost Dad. Yeah, this kind of it has horror elements. The fucking famous word. It has horror elements. It's got to go on my list. That's how it would be. If Ghost Dad came out nowadays, people would put that on their fucking end of year list.
It's Ghost in the title.
Horror elements in real life horror. That's the other one. Well, it's real life horror. So
I use that for werewolf, but it's true.
Well, I'm going to use the Janie Salmon's retort to real life horror. And horrific things happening because she says it all the time. Because I've been on the opposite end of the fence when I told her something was horror, and she said, "Well, just because it's this doesn't make it horror." I went, "Well," and she would always say, "She goes, well, horrible things happen in Schindler's List too. That's real life horror. Is that a horror movie?" And I can't. There is no comeback for her. She's right. See, I can admit when somebody says something to me, my mind can be changed on certain situations. And I'm like, well, you know what? In certain cases like that, you're right. If it's just real life horror, doesn't mean I should. And I'm not knocking anyone that does it. I'm just saying that I had a change of heart because someone made a point, and I don't have a problem changing my mind. I'm like,
Dave,
you know what?
I totally agree with you, but I would never admit I'm wrong to Jamie.
You gotta stand your ground there, son. Stand your ground, son.
Stand your ground. That's it.
How about this guy? B, who is this?
Yeah, dude, I thought it was me too.
You thought it was you too?
Because he moves in mysterious ways.
See, he's got some voice.
I thought it was you too.
We always praise Dave, but I'm the only one that can't sing.
Dave's got the singing voice. I didn't get the musicality in my family. No one.
Oh wow. I don't know. I'm gonna go to the patrons thing quick and see if I can find this one question. Basically, it was about an age. Oh yeah. Okay. I love this, and it says Eric James asked if you could go back to a time in your life for just one day, when would you go back to? Age or year, and what would you do? Of course, you guys know me.
The day before he asked this question.
It's like don't answer. Don't even dare write on our page.
Question. The day before you asked this horrible question. No, I remember seeing that question. That is a good question.
I came up with an exact date for a certain reason and everything, and I'll do it next show because we only have so much time here. But that's a question I loved. Honestly, I enjoy the questions that are not about horror. Than just someone says that, like, this is a tough question for me. Top 5 Korean horror movies, best adaptation and worst adaptation. Those to me are difficult.
Those are hard.
But when someone asks about things that are non-horror or things about our personal life or experiences, those are more fun and easy, I think, to answer. Where you can just
if I said September 11th to save the commute to school that day, would that be bad? I drove all the way to 45 minutes to college that day.
For no reason.
Too soon? Too soon?
Too soon. 20 years later.
Still too soon.
Well, that it always is, yeah. Or Jason Smith asks, what's your favorite romantic couples in horror?
Jason Smith asks the dumbest fucking question.
It would take me an hour to come up with that answer. Yeah. Because off the top of my head...
10,000 subs?
I don't think he has subscribers. I think he has like 10,000 sandwiches, like actual subs. Okay, look how many tuna subs. Yeah, guys, that's spicy.
We got a Jimmy John's, we got a Quiznos, we got a Subway, we got them all. 10,000 subs.
Mr. Hoagie.
Hoagie.
I love the name Hoagie. Hoagie for a sandwich,
brother.
I don't think we call them hoagies in Canada. So whenever I can get the word hoagie out, I'll say it.
How about a hero? How about a hero? Everybody call it a hero?
A hero sandwich?
Heroes, hoagies.
I don't call them that. It's a fucking sub.
Yeah, it's a
sub.
sub.
Call them subs.
They call it grinder, too.
I've heard that, too, a grinder. That's ridiculous.
I met a guy on Grindr, and we went out for grinders.
His sub was bigger than mine. I only wanted an 8-inch.
His sub really penetrated my black hole bung. My blocked hole bung.
Yeah, thank you.
Blocked hole.
I'm gonna have to print the linear notes for you guys. The lighter notes, whatever. The lyrics.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did he say linear notes?
Linear notes.
Linear notes. The lighter notes. I just wanted the actual the lyrics. You know, when they're handwritten on a piece of paper to make it look like you just came up with it, and then they took a picture of it and put it in the CD booklet or whatever. Pearl Jam was notorious for that. I just came up with this, and it was like written. It made it look like they just took their lined paper and took a photograph of it, and those were the lyrics that we get to read. I go, can't you type it out, you prick?
You know what we could do for your song, for Blocked Hole Bung? We could put out like a 45, right, and put out a record and wrap it and you can write the lyrics on toilet paper.
There it is. Yeah.
It should have been on Green Day's Dookie album.
Dookie.
Dookie. Dookie's a funny word.
Yeah. Dookie. Oh no.
It's like
I
Hoagie.
knew you were gonna, that's what I was thinking. That might be the most cringeworthy, worst scene in any movie I've ever seen. Like, doesn't it just like
What
as an
scene?
actor? I
What-
mean, I know this guy is just like
what are you
an
talking-
extra who's in it for like 2 seconds, but like, would you ever take this? What's this? Like, it's the worst.
That's the scene we're waiting for you in our movie. You just come on the screen and you go, Dookie!
Yeah, be credited.
No, I come on and I say spooky.
And then you get shot in the head. It's
And
a
then I
very
shit
quick
myself.
cameo. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I get shot in the head.
Dude.
All right, so that was Inferno.
Did you hear that noise?
Is he playing Tetris? What's going on?
Yeah.
I got a text and it had to do with the Bills, I think, because I pressed the button and it's noise at me. Hold on, what the hell is it?
The game was canceled today. That's what it was.
No. Well, I don't know.
Carlos was gaming from his couch.
Oh, it's a commercial. Get out of here. It's like a YouTube thing. That was the ad.
Fuck Carlos.
Fuck Carlos.
Jesus. Okay. What about Inferno?
Let's get into
All
it.
right. Let's get into it. Dario Argento's Inferno from 1980. An American college student in Rome and his sister in New York investigate a series of killings in both locations where their resident addresses are the domain of 2 covens of witches.
Witch. Yeah. I'll tell you what. What's really good about this is that you really get into all the mythology that was only touched upon for freaking 2 minutes in Suspiria. This movie takes all of that mythology and more than lays it out for you.
Yeah.
Along, and it keeps some of the visuals, a lot of the good set design, which is great from Suspiria, same type of thing. Plays around with the colors, not to the extreme of Suspiria, but I've always liked it, but always said when people complain about Argento and say his movies don't make sense, I always would cite this as the only one that I can't make sense of. I go, ask me the plot of any other Argento movie, or give me a question, I'll have the answer. Inferno is like a fever dream to me, but I figured it out this time, except for an obvious question. I understand everything else that's going on, and I know why I got confused. Because the first 2 girls, when the first girl goes for her swim, and then we see the second girl later do her thing and go into that place, I thought that was the same girl because she has wet hair. And I'm like, how come she's here and now she's here, and why is she doing this when this just happened? That's why it's 2 different girls. Yes. That's why I got confused. I thought it was the same girl, and that always threw me off. And last night, I got it completely.
Yeah, well, we got Rose Elliott, who's in New York, and then we got her brother Mark, who's a music student in Rome, and his friend Sarah is the one who's doing the investigating there. And I like the fact that they introduce main characters here, mainly Rose and Sarah, only to off them off.
Yes, it's like a trilogy.
Off them off.
Off them off.
I'm glad I'm not the only one off today. But
I'll clear that all up in the linear notes.
It's like a trilogy.
Kill them all.
Get it through one person's eyes, right? Yeah. And then at the end we get a final boy. We get 3 characters. It's almost like a trilogy. These are 3 things that happen here with these 3 characters. It's very interesting in that respect.
It's like Suspiria. It's weird. It expands on the mythology, like you guys said, but it feels like Suspiria light. And I do like the opening as well.
Right.
There's some great lighting and great set design, as you could say. I do question this woman goes into this really awkward looking place. I know she's investigating, but then she decides to jump into a hole of water to retrieve something. It just is very bizarre behavior.
Her keys.
And I love it because it's so dreamlike and so labyrinth-like. It's just, everything's like a huge labyrinth, and that's what I love. That it kind of, the set pieces I think are just as beautiful in this one. Everything looks great to me.
They do,
and it almost doesn't make sense. You go under, and there's the house, and there's this and all that, and I like the fact that I wish it had gone maybe back and forth between the 2, and both witches together, because we don't really get into the Mother of Tears in this one. We see her, And she's played by the actress who's in Tenebrae and in a bunch of other Argento films, and she's so hot. She's so
amazing.
fucking gorgeous.
Oh, isn't she? Wow.
And I'm saying to myself, why is this girl bringing a cat to class? And then I'm like, she could do whatever the fuck she wants.
She's a familiar. That's her familiar. She's a witch, and she's barely even there. Like, I think only he sees her. And then he flashes back to her and she's gone. Then he looks up and she's at the top of the thing. So it's weird the way she even moves.
And then he sees her driving by in the cab, like at that crime scene after he finds Sarah dead.
Man, it's too bad they made Mother of Tears 20 years too late. He totally should have made it in fucking 1987. You know what I mean?
They did offer the role to her even in 2007. Oh,
did they really?
Yeah, but she turned it down.
Well, she's probably nowhere near as sexy, and she's supposed to be the most attractive of them all. You're not going to have someone that's fucking 50.
Well, you also decided not to follow the visual look.
But it's too bad, honestly. If you would have made this movie in 87, the third one, who knows what we'd be talking about. It's really sad, honestly. And I don't dislike Mother of Tears, but it's nothing like Suspiria and Inferno. And I agree. See, it is Suspiria light. That is the perfect term for it. Doesn't mean I don't still think I still really enjoy the movie. Don't get me wrong, but it's definitely. And I told my wife, she's never seen it, and she likes Argento. And I said, I'm going to watch this movie. I'm going to watch Inferno after Suspiria. Would you like to watch it? I said, it's the follow-up to Suspiria. She goes, really? So she actually watched it with me. And she was pointing things out. Oh, that looks like the thing in Suspiria. That kind of looks like Suspiria. And I was like, oh, I was proud of her. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, that's cool. And you're right. I go, this is done with intent. So.
And it's good. It's good. I just feel like there's a little bit more of a lag. Whereas it's funny, in Suspiria, I don't feel that lag. And the movie's not much different running time. Maybe a 5-minute difference or whatever. But it just feels like it just hovers in the middle, and there's really no climax really either. So those are why I felt it a bit. Oh, my dog doesn't agree with me at all. Sorry.
Yeah, see?
I love it. I love all the explanation and background. This Varelli guy who built the houses for the three mothers. He was an alchemist and all that. And I really love the idea of like the smells and everything in the air around the witches' locations. And all the investigation type stuff that these characters do. Because I just think that visually, it's sort of like how Susie is walking around, the academy so much. You're just kind of just taking in the sights.
Oh.
Yep.
Like the library, awesome. When she goes to the library, you get the book, and she winds up in some room with cauldrons and stuff. Yeah, it doesn't totally make sense what the hell's going on, but it's cool and it's visually like stunning to look at.
Visually stunning. There's not quite enough cat death in it for my liking, so I thought I'd like a little bit more cat death. I knew Dave, this would be a touchy situation for Dave. Those cute little kittens.
Was sad.
Talk about a bag of unluckies.
That's great.
We should do our version of a cut of this where Dave pops up in his van. Beep, beep. I'll take over from here. And he just grabs a sack of kittens, beats the guy to death with them, and then runs off and saves them all.
Sack of kittens.
And then drives off a cliff and goes to the moon.
Yeah.
And says, Merry Christmas to all and to all. Good night. In the van.
Yeah. It's a kind of a mix mash, but that's what our movies are. But that whole scene there, again, there's some okay kills in this, but I don't like them as much as some of his other movies, and they just seem a little forced. The rats feasting on that guy. I don't know. It doesn't have the same. Sorry?
They're eating me alive! Yeah. I love how the food vendor comes running to help.
The hot dog guy
fucking puts a knife right into him.
That is the weirdest thing. Why is he? I thought maybe they're using the rats to make the hot dogs, because there's this hot dog vendor in the middle of nowhere, prepping the night, and then you think he's coming to his rescue, and then he just jabs a knife into the guy's neck, like you just said. It's fucking ludicrous.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it's witch. It's freaking. It's seeing the witch's influence done differently. And this one also. See, this is what it is about this movie. It's very Italian and very Argento in all these ways, where you actually have the I don't know who that is.
Ludicrous.
Now that's ludicrous.
Oh, he said ludicrous. Oh, I'm sorry. I was
I
thinking
don't know
about
who that is.
awesome. I thought it was an actor in the movie for a second. I'm like, what's this?
Yeah, Ludacris was in Inferno. He was one of the cats.
Get all these
This is
fucking
like
rats
Jalo.
out of my way.
No, this is like Giallo, like this movie, where Suspiria wasn't. The way the killers look, the
Yeah.
gloves, the way the kills
Exactly.
are done. It's like watching a regular Giallo with. People say Suspiria is like watching a Giallo with supernatural influence. I disagree. I think it's just a supernatural film with a couple things that are a little reminiscent of Giallo. This, to me, is that description. It's like a, it's like a Giallo supernatural because
Yeah.
it's supernatural, but the kills and the way things are set up, it's like the witches have this power to set off whoever they want and turn them into these Giallo-like killers. And I
Exactly.
like that.
Exactly.
different.
I like that too. Yeah. That was my explanation for the hot dog vendor too, because everyone's just
Yeah.
like, why is just some random guy? It's like, yeah, it's like the
Possession.
witch's control. They, using them as vessels.
Yeah,
Because you clearly
it was you. In
Yeah.
Suspiria, when that guy comes through the freaking thing, and by the way, they showed the same eyes that look like cat's eyes in
Yeah.
Suspiria and in this, and it's a nice little touch. But it's like that could be anything. That could be a witch.
And then
using
Drew Barrymore
whatever
showed up, and there were tons of cat's eyes.
and that little guy comes around with a knife.
Waka woo.
Waka woo. No, but I like the kill. I like when she invites the guy to stay because she's so scared. Sarah in Rome, she's like, I'm too scared. Will you come up and stay in my apartment? Just like the stranger, that Carlo guy. And she's like, have you ever heard of the Three Sisters? He's like, you mean those three black singers?
I love that. Yep.
You can't say that.
Yeah. That's hysterical, man.
But that's a giallo kill. She goes, she doesn't hear
All
him.
of
She
it.
goes, and the knife is through the neck, and then she gets, cut up and stabbed and all that.
This one seems to leave my memory banks the second after I watched this almost 2 times through because I didn't get through the second time again because I wanted to watch Suspiria again this morning. So I didn't get a chance to finish it again. I started it and watched about half of it again last night. But as we're talking about it, I remember everything that we're talking about. But if I was to go through every sequence of the film, I there's memory lapses I have. And I just watched this thing. I don't know why. It doesn't have the same impact that Suspiria has.
It's weird.
no.
It's not going to have the same impact that Suspiria has. Suspiria, I'll say it now because it used to not be in my top 5 Argentos. It's certainly in there now because certain films have dropped out. I'll just tell you a film that dropped out for me was Bird with the Crystal Plumage.
Wow.
Because I recently
like that
rewatched
one.
it.
Man,
I used to love it. But
starring
there's
you.
actually there's a big cheat in it, though. There's a big cheat in it that I just can't.
That's another show. We'll do another
Yeah,
time.
that I just
I
can't
don't
get
know if I
over
agree.
now. There's a big cheat in it, but this one, this one's starting to really grow on me.
Me too. It took, the thing is, but I listen, see, I get it. And it took me time. And like I said, I used to not understand it. And now I understand everything. So, but my rating hasn't changed. It's the same rating I gave on 22 Shots. It's going to be the same. But I kept it at the same rating, but I appreciate it even more without. No, it's true. You can do that. Something.
Oh no, I'm just laughing about a note I took because when Mark, after Sarah's killed and Mark and everything, then he gets the letter and he goes to see his sister in New York, right? So he goes there and they cut to show Rose in New York and her chase scene, and that's a brutal death because they're using that dull blade, the guillotine,
Oh,
and they keep chasing. That's awesome.
yes.
But then Mark arrives. First thing he does is he meets the Professor Arnold guy and the nurse, and but when he goes upstairs, he hears what is Elise's character, Daria's character, saying hello from outside in one of those pipes, and he can't figure out how it's happening. But I swear to God, she sounds exactly like hello. That's what I heard.
Oh my God.
You gotta go back and listen to it again because it's like hello.
Well, the funny thing is, hello. The funny thing is, she's not even saying hello. She's calling out the person's name. The girls, what's her sister's name? Sarah or
Rose,
what the fuck?
Rose.
Rose. She's saying Rose. She's saying Rose.
Yeah, but it sounds
That's
like,
why.
hello.
I know it. Well, it's funny because I thought she was saying hello, and then when I watched it with the subtitles last night, she's saying Rose. And you know how sometimes when you see something spelled out and then hear it, you can hear what they're saying. Like, oh yeah, she actually is saying Rose. So that now I can see because Rose sounds more like. Oh wait, no, it doesn't. I was gonna say Rose sounds more like hello than hello does. That doesn't make any sense.
Rose.
That's what I was gonna say. I don't know, but that particular hello, I'm saying. I don't know. Rose, hello. I don't know. Fucking
Rose.
I don't know. Did you guys see that in the beginning when she goes to the bookstore to see whatever his name is, Kazarian or whatever, I forget his name. She goes to the bookstore, Kazarian, and the guy pulls the thing on his front door closed, and you just see his shadow. Did you guys see that it was kind of like a Alfred Hitchcock shadow, the way it looked?
Like a silhouette, like
yes, you know the Alfred Hitchcock
side silhouette. Yeah, no, I didn't notice it actually. Now that
my wife noticed it of all people, she always does, and she goes, "I don't know if it's true." And I said, "Well," I go, "He loves Hitchcock." I go, "So I wouldn't doubt it." But that's what I love about watching movies with her. She always points out these things that I don't see. And then she started talking about the full moon. She goes, "You know that it was a full moon when we saw this girl get killed, and now we're in Italy, and there's a full moon that night too." I'm like, "You're right." Then later on, they start talking about the eclipse coming. I'm like,
yeah.
"Wow, there's something to the moon in this movie that," and she spotted it like right away. I was like, "Damn." Yeah.
How about when we already passed it? But how about when the other girl, when Sarah goes into the library at first, huge library, it looks like a castle. And she goes out to the library and she's like, "I'm looking for a book called The Three Mothers." And it's literally, oh, that should be right there. It's like,
yeah.
Right there. Like, get the fuck out of here.
That happens to me all the time. It's right in front of my face and I don't see it. I'm looking for, oh, look, it's right behind you, asshole. Oh, shit, thanks. You know.
When does Mark actually arrive in New York? In my memory, it feels like it's at the hour mark.
Well,
but I could be wrong.
After Sarah's killed and he gets the letter that he finds that she had taken, that he left in class, and puts it together that Rose was talking about something. Then he tries reaching out to her and he can't find her, so he goes to see her.
Yeah, it sounds about right. See, it does take a while for him to get there. Then he goes and he's nesting the investigation. He's looking for her. He can't find her, and on we go. Okay, here's my question. I'm just gonna get right out to it. Why in the beginning she's reading the book and she's writing and she writes a letter to her brother? Why does she want to know about the three keys? What is her fascination with them? And here's my confusion. It already says that, Marcos is in one place, and then, oh geez, what are their real names? I can't remember. I can tell you Mother of Tears and in Mother of Sighs and Mother of Darkness, and I can tell you, Mater Suspiriorum and Mater, what's the name? Lacramium. I always fucked that name up. And then, either way, I can tell you those things, but I don't know the real person's name. But they straight up say, when she reads the book from the architect/alchemist, that in New York, that is where this mother resided, and he built the stuff for her, and this is her place. So if she already knows that, why does she have to go hunt for the key to see whose house it really is when she should already know that information? You get what I'm saying? Why does she search for the three keys is my question.
Well, why doesn't she check her foot or her shoes first?
Yeah,
for key
tear
3.
out the soles.
Key 3 is on the soles of your feet.
Well,
That's where key 3 is.
She's looking for the actual location. She's looking for the actual
location
lair.
of what?
Of the witch's lair.
Oh, so she just wants to find the lair. You'll
Yeah.
find her. Okay. Fine. Question answered.
Yeah.
I was just always, because you see in the book she's reading, they show the picture of the place she lives at. Yeah. So she knows that this is the place. Yeah. So I'm like, and she already has her first clue in the knowledge of it, what's in that book. So I never understood why she had to dig deeper to get all three keys.
Yeah, the second key is in the cellar. That's why she goes into the cellar, looking around. She sees, part of
dirty
what
water.
must be the mother, part of what must be the mother's house all underwater. And then the third key at the souls is what Mark uncovers at the end. You know, when he finds the ants crawling up through the floor and he goes through the hole and again, very big labyrinth-like, very much like Suspiria. Also, Mark is very much like Susie. He becomes weak and passes out because he's very susceptible to Mother Tenebraeum.
Right.
Yeah.
Tenebraeum.
Yeah.
But again, it's very anticlimactic compared, like.
To me, it's the same ending as.
It's quick. Yeah.
It's the same ending as Suspiria. I know.
Yeah,
I'm not
quick.
saying. Yeah, it's very quick. There's a
He
showdown.
daisy finds-
I like the fact that the reveal is sort of Mother Tenebraeum sort of turns into death personified. It looks maybe goofy now, but I kind of like it still. But I still
Me
like
too.
it. I still like it.
And
Now
you
she
think
comes out
that
of the
the
mirror?
building falling down will be enough to destroy this powerful witch? It just feels weird to me, but I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, again, I don't hate the movie by any means. I'm just
Look,
just
all the
questioning.
witches just stay in their lair and burn to death in Suspiria. I mean, granted, they're rendered powerless once she kills the head, Marcos, but
That's the connection. They always die by fire. That's
Yeah.
what Imelda Marcos supposedly died in 1905, 10 years after establishing at the dance academy, but in fire. Now this one, the title is Inferno. The whole fire thing is prevalent the whole time, and once again, it's death by fire at the end. Maybe it's just that's what does him in. Although hard to say because Mother Suspiriorum got freaking killed by fire the first time, but really didn't die. She came back a different way and had to be stabbed, at the end of Suspiria. But I think she becomes an immortal figure by that point. But then again, this woman looks immortal too. She says that she's death personified or something, when she steps out of the mirror. So again, it's a little loose. I hear you. It's still fever dreamish. Even that swim, which doesn't make the most sense in the world, but is so well done and so cool. And for me, you guys
I make
talk
a
about
joke.
being underwater.
Yeah.
No, I know. It's a no, but
we didn't talk about the swim in Suspiria either, which is such a cool scene.
the swim you said?
Yeah, in Suspiria, when Sarah and Susie swim together.
Oh, in the pool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, right, yeah, true.
But in this
Where
one,
else do you swim?
Well, this girl
one,
wasn't
when
in a pool. She was swimming. She was
No, I
swimming.
know.
There's a
but-
hole in the floor, but when she pops out and the water gets a little ripply, we at least get a little nipply. Like that part was good.
Well, that
And that
body
was
was all
Umberto Bava.
nasty.
It was crazy though. Like, I mean, I'll joke it aside. I sent you the picture of it going perfect time for a swim. I understand she's looking for
It is
something.
silly.
I mean, I get it, and the dead bodies popping up are pretty scary. This soundtrack, I will admittedly say the soundtrack is not as effective. The soundtrack's a little bit more discordant, seems a little wonky for the action happening on the screen a lot of times comparatively to Suspiria, which is haunting and dreamlike. This one there's this one, wasn't it kind of jazzy or acid jazzy as like pretty horrific chasing was happening, and it just seemed not to fit the action successfully.
He does that sometimes, but I wish he didn't do it here. I wish that this score would have been done by Goblin, and it would have been more reminiscent. Even though I do love the climax and that song, that Suspiria. I love that song, but I
That was
mean,
sung by Canadians, by the way.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Definitely something a
Kid
European
Canadians.
flavor.
Kid Canadians.
From Oshawa.
They only sing it, on Oshawa. On Black Christmas, they only sing it.
Oh shit! I do like that, but Keith Emerson does a good job. But I'm with you. See, it doesn't necessarily fit. I wish he had. I don't know what Goblin was doing that they couldn't be commissioned for this film, but it's unfortunate because everything else was just like Suspiria. So why not continue? But I hear you. That's one of the things that lacks.
I think that would have elevated it to a change in the soundtrack. I just think something a little bit more traditional or more in the style of Suspiria would have boosted this possibly up a full mark for me. But again,
No, that's fair. I completely get what you're saying. I really do. This is more of an art piece in that respect, like I said, where it's dreamish and everything else, and it's just these are weird things that happen, and I don't know. And again, he wasn't even in the best health when he made it. That's why Baba came in and filmed that scene, the underwater scene. I guess, did he have hepatitis?
When they attacked Dario, there's like 1,000 of them jumping up.
That was great, though.
It seemed like from Sleepwalkers. The way they were jumping.
Yeah. It was more like Sleepwalkers than Let the Right One In, for sure.
Yeah. No, but I like the elements of Giallo in this one, like you said. I like the fact that there's actual gloved killers here. So you're not assuming the witches themselves are doing it, that there's just random sort of vessels, humans running around actually performing the killings.
And although we said it was bad, or I said it was batshit crazy, it is good when the hot dog guy comes from that standpoint. I like that premise, and it could have been. I'm trying to think if that could be reused in a different movie almost. Like, I love that.
They did. They reused it in Friday 4. Instead of he's eating me, he's killing me.
I meant the hot dog vendor. I almost
They're eating me alive. He's killing me alive.
First thing I'm just jumping right over this joke. The first thing I thought of was In the Mouth of Madness, when the guy just says, "You ever read Sutter Kane?" When he comes in, he attacks the guy out of the blue, just walks up, like that type of thing. I like the idea of the power it has, and it just has this hot dog vendor guy that you think is going to go save him, plunge a fucking butcher knife right into his neck. Doesn't even decapitate him. Like it's just like the halfway point.
Maybe he just wants to say, "Shut the fuck up! You're hurting my business." Yeah. I'm trying to sell some dirty water dogs over here.
Dirty water rat dogs.
Love that dirty water. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
It's by no means like it's definitely interesting. I could understand why it's been overlooked, but I think it definitely needs to be re-seen and rediscovered, not just by Argento fans, but by horror fans. I think if you do watch it back to back, which I think we all tried to do, they do work. But then direct comparisons are made, and that's where you get Suspiria light, I think.
Yeah. And that's why you got to stop after Inferno and not watch Mother of Tears until another day, because then it's fucking completely.
Well, he didn't even. Yeah, he went totally different style. He didn't even try to keep the style he set up, which is a shame.
It is a shame because I still like the movie. I still give the movie like a 6.5. I believe it. I like it more than other people like it even. But all he would have had to do was take some more time and incorporate those elements like he did the first two, and it could have been another classic. But what are you gonna do? It is what it is, But 1 and 2, I'm glad we did it. I'm glad that you thought about Inferno coming to, bringing Inferno to because this was your idea. This was the one you wanted to.
I wanted to see it again because it was. I feel like it's one of my least watched Argentos. So of the ones that I still there's still a couple I still have to see. So
Four Flies.
Four Flies on Grey Velvet. I have not seen that.
Oh, I love it.
Well, Four Flies really needs a nice physical release. I know it has some release, but it needs like the Arrow treatment or something like that.
Yes,
and Inferno needs it has releases. Like I think it has a Blue Underground Blu-ray, but
that's what I have.
But this also
looks
needs.
Good.
Yeah, but this also needs the Ultimate Edition. You know how like Arrow put out Deep Red,
right.
Synapse put out Suspiria, Arrow put out Phenomena, Cat of Nine Tails. Like all of them seem to have like huge editions. Those two can use one.
Yeah, that's frustrating. That some movies just come out on Blu-ray and these other ones, even though they're already out, but they don't have the definitive collector's edition.
I think Cat of Nine Tails will eventually get it, just because
it does. Cat has it. I have it.
Not Cat. I mean Four Flies. Sorry.
Yeah, because they have the other two. They have Bird and they have Cat. And I have them, the arrows, but they don't have Four Flies. I don't get it. Maybe they're doing it in order. Maybe Four Flies is eventually.
Four Flies, I guess, is the only one I haven't seen.
I saw it once, but I don't remember it.
Yeah. I love it. It's definitely underappreciated, I think, and underseen. You don't hear a lot about it. You hear more.
And the classic, the one that everybody comments on, Deep Red, I've seen twice, and unfortunately the second time was that definitive version, which I think is horrible, where it cuts between the Italian and the subtitle.
Yep.
And I was just like, what am I missing here? Why do people love this so much?
The middle version for that one, they have the Hatchet Murders one, which is like 80 minutes.
Short.
Then you got the really long one. Then you have the one perfect in the middle. That's like an hour and 45.
Yep. That's the one. That's the perfect. That was Argento's vision. That was the fucking one that was put out. The other ones are extended and the other one's cut. So always go with that one. And I always tell when it comes to Argento, don't go with the other cuts. It's true in all of his movies. The ones that he ends up getting put out internationally are the ones, and they're always the best. So other people disagree, but that's the way I feel. I'm with you. See, the Profondo Rosso cut, freaking, it got slow. And but anyway, that's
something about it. But that one I'll revisit. Probably the only other one that I've seen. I've seen that twice. Inferno. I think this was my second and almost third time. I might end up finishing it off again just to say I've officially watched it 3 times. But the second watch really upped my enjoyment of that first half anyway. So I was like, okay, maybe I was just being a little too hard on it with that back-to-back comparison. But it's not a high mark, but it's a good movie. I think it's a good movie. I don't think it's great.
I think it's really good. I think what Mark's whole into, the hole and just searching, the way he's crawling underneath and opening up different areas and stuff, and eventually finding Professor Arnold, who turns out to be Varelli, and that whole scene with him, I think it's a little comical now when a guy he chokes himself on his own fucking thing. But I like that because he thinks he's the bad guy and he's the one he's got to confront. He thinks he did something to his sister, and then he's like, I'm just a slave. I'm not the master. Someone else is watching you. And then he goes in and meets the mother.
Yeah, because she was the nurse.
I didn't write down the lines, but when he first meets the nurse in the elevator, the things she says to him, like, she's nutty. It's hilarious, but I don't remember any of it. But I remember thinking like she's like misinterpreting everything he's saying.
Yeah, it is weird.
When she says he's a music student and she thinks it's something else.
Yeah, musicology. She thinks that he's talking about being a doctor or some other psychology.
Yes.
Then she says something about poetry being a woman's profession or something like that.
Yeah, very.
But your daughter, or your sister had a weird profession too. He goes, and she goes, oh, well, there's nothing weird about it. She's a poet. And then she goes, oh, yeah. And then she says something like, truly, a profession designed for females or something.
Poetry pays well, though, because Rose had a stunning apartment also.
Indeed.
Even nicer.
Indubitably. Yeah, and again, I don't want to rush it, but I'm short on time today. I've got to get moving soon. I'll be a little more lenient on it because I was enjoying it more the second time through. I was watching it. I was going to come in at a 7. I'm going to do a 7.5 because I do think it's a good movie. Yeah, well, it's a good movie. That's a good range for you.
I expected you to be lower than that. I really did.
I'm glad he's not. Yeah.
I thought you were going to be like 6.5, but 7.5 is good. Yeah, I'm going to go 8.
Me too. I'm also an 8. I've been an 8 for a long time.
Yeah.
Yep. So
yeah, it's like saying there's a drop off, I guess, is difficult because you're talking about a movie that I think we all put kind of up on a pedestal. It's like it's very difficult to keep up that momentum, and
this is the first time I've given Suspiria a 10. Granted, it's one, like I said, I hadn't seen as many times as a lot of people have. I mean, I still think Deep Red, and I mean, my favorite is personally Tenebrae.
Yeah,
that's my film. That's
Opera, Tenebrae, and Suspiria. All 3 of those,
Opera's up there. Opera, Tenebrae, Suspiria, Deep Red. I could give all 4 of those, 9.5 10s if you.
But I also like Phenomena. That one stuck with me. Again, when we talked about when it was called Creepers back in the day, and I was always like kind of intrigued by it because I was scared, and I love it. I love I love that movie too, and it's so weird.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
I'll tell you what.
Film.
I'll give you my top 10 really quick of his movies. 10 is Sleepless. 9 is Phenomena. 8 is Inferno. 7 is Cat. 6 is Bird. 5 is Tenebrae. 4 is Four Flies. 3 is Opera. 2 is Deep Red. 1 is Suspiria. That's where I go.
Interesting.
I
I haven't done a top 10. Next show, I'll prepare. Or at least
Yeah,
a
I'll
top
prepare
9.
mine too. Maybe I can watch Four Flies before then.
Yeah, maybe that is it.
Because I haven't.
I hope
seen
I'm
it
not
in so long.
overselling it for you, but
No, I've seen it before. It's just been so
Okay.
long. It's just been so long. I once bought it off a line, a DVD copy, thinking it was a legit DVD copy, and it was just a burned copy that was atrocious. I actually still think I own it. I kept it because like the disc art was cool, but it looks awful. All right.
Well, we got to be out. I guess next show there's a good chance we're going to do 2 new movies. So
Sounds good.
there probably
to me.
won't even be a vote. We already know about the one and whatever. So we'll see. Whatever happens, happens. Hope you guys enjoyed this show. And Manchichi.
Manchichi. I was gonna say it. We love you long time.
Go Bills.